Chapter 114. Han Fei wanted to stretch out his hand to scratch his head, only to find that it was a little inconvenient to reach his head, so he scratched his belly and asked blankly, "That's a fish swimming in the sea. Can we catch it?" Han Fei certainly knew the treasure-digging fish, also known as the rat fish, was the most cunning fish in the level 1 sea. It was called treasure-digging fish because there was a big lump on its head, and there was a treasure in that lump. Sometimes it was a spiritual bead, sometimes it was a refining material, and sometimes it was a spiritual fruit. It was even said that someone had dug out a cultivation method from the head of a treasure-digging fish. But in any case, this fish was quite difficult to catch. Han Fei felt that it might be provoking them by jumping on the surface of the sea over there. Qin Jia asked, "Do you think fishing rods are only used for fishing? The strong can do anything with their fishing rods. It's said that they can travel 1,000 miles in an instant with a wave of the fishing rod." That's just a legend, okay? But then Han Fei thought it was possible. If even a floating island as large as the Sky Island could be moved here, it didn't seem particularly exaggerated to catch fish from 1,000 miles away, right? Chen Ling immediately said to the people from the Heavenly Fire Village, "Raise your fishing boats and leave immediately. Don't affect us catching fish." The people from the Heavenly Fire Village looked hesitant. Treasure-digging fish. It was a rare species that couldn't be seen at all, but they were driven away today. But at this moment, the two boats didn't stop but immediately took off. Rare fish were good, but their lives were more important. Besides, even the treasure-digging fish might not be able to dig out good things. And what if Han Fei couldn't catch them at all? Han Fei scratched his belly and said, "Remember to form an alliance next time. Otherwise, I'll throw you all into the sea to feed the fish next time." The people from the Heavenly Fire Village, Han Fei muttered, "It's a pity that Ding Yu is quite sensible." Qin Jia, and Qin Ling. Before they asked, the fishing boats had started. Qin Jia, controlled the fishing boat and shouted, "Go after them. Xiao Ling, your instant hook is better than mine. You do it." The two of them automatically ignored Han Fei. Although Han Fei's fishing skills were growing very fast, this was Han Fei's first day in the level 1 fishery, so the two of them didn't consider letting Han Fei do it. Therefore, Han Fei naturally became a manual navigation, 300 meters ahead. No, 50 meters to the right. That thing is running really fast, chasing in a straight line, accelerating at the bend. Qin Jia's face darkened. She immediately said angrily, "Shut up. Where did the detour come from?" Han Fei scratched his belly. "Do you feel that the fish has been 100 meters away from us?" Swish, Chen Ling's fishing rod flashed, and the fishing line traveled 100 meters in the blink of an eye. However, this speed was still too slow. When her hook reached the treasure-digging fish, it was always 20 meters away. "It's too slow. This fish is teasing us. It must be. He is bullying us." Chen Ling glared at Han Fei and gritted her teeth. This was the 6th time she cast the hook, but the result was far from what she hoped. Han Fei had a feeling that these two brainless women would not be able to catch the fish, especially since the fish was obviously toying with the three of them. Han Fei sat on the boat, and with a flash between his eyebrows, Little Black and Little White came out. Little White kissed Han Fei's face and spat out a cloud of spiritual energy. Qin Jia seemed to give up, so she teased Han Fei, "Huh. Han Fei, can your spirit-swallowing fish transmit spiritual energy to you?" Han Fei replied, "Yes. Occasionally, provided that you feed it with spiritual energy." Chen Ling asked, "What's the point?" Han Fei replied, "It can make the spiritual energy purer." When Han Fei said this, an idea flashed in his mind. "Little Black, catch that stinky fish for me. Don't bite it to death." While talking, Chen Ling cast the fishing rod again, but still missed. Han Fei asked, "Are we in the middle of the level 1 fishery? Did I see a fishing boat?" Qin Jia looked at the black shadow in the distance and her face changed slightly. "Damn it. Okay, Little Ling, let's give up," Han Fei said, wait a minute. How can we just let it go? Han Fei suddenly stood up. I've given you a chance. Don't blame me if you can't catch it. Han Fei took out the black iron rod and injected spiritual energy into the long line. Chen Jia thought to herself, just give it a try if you want. Anyway, it won't take you 2 seconds to try. Ah! I got it! Chen Ling suddenly exclaimed. She had failed to hook it 7 times, but Han Fei just hooked it so casually. Wasn't this a great blow to her? Chen Jia was also stunned. No way. Was it just luck? Although they didn't hook it themselves, the 2 girls were still very happy. They were all from their village, so it was better than leaving it to another village. Han Fei retracted the line, and the treasure-digging fish didn't struggle at all and was dragged back by Han Fei like a dead thing. After being dragged onto the boat, Chen Jia drove the boat away without hesitation, looking at the big fish in Han Fei's hand as she ran. Han Fei was pinching the lump on the head of the treasure-digging fish and knocking it, only to see the fish struggling in panic. Smack! Han Fei knocked it out with a slap. At this moment, he was thinking whether he should knock the lump on its head or throw it into the demon purification pot to keep the mutant mantis shrimp king company. Chen Ling exclaimed, "Huh! This treasure-digging fish has been bitten. A piece of meat is missing from its back." Han Fei said, "Maybe it was bitten by something. Otherwise, how could it run out of the sea?" With that said, Han Fei glanced at Little Black. This guy's mouth was bulging. Who else could have bitten the meat if not him? Chen Jia asked, "Brother Han Fei, shall we open it?" Han Fei asked, "Will it die?" Chen Ling replied, "No, but it has no contract value. Once the treasure-digging fish loses the treasure bag on its head, it will change from a rare fish to an ordinary fish." Han Fei said, "Then I'd better not open it." Both girls nodded. After all, this was also a rare fish species. Although it had no fighting ability, it might have the ability to find treasures. Many people wanted to find a treasure-digging fish to sign a contract with but couldn't find it. Chen Ling said, "Well, you can also consider making it your contractual spiritual fish." Unfortunately, we missed this opportunity. There should be few fishing masters in the Heavenly Water Village who haven't signed a contract with it. Chen Jia added, "It's not suitable to sign a contract here. The treasure-digging fish we just caught must have been seen. I suspect that fishing boats are chasing us around in the dark. Han Fei didn't want to sign a contract with this fish. I have the ability to refine demons. Why would I need a contract with it?" Han Fei said, "Then I'll take it back. This fish is so ugly. Maybe I'll knock it open when we get back." Chen Jia stopped the fishing boat after running for more than 300 kilometers. She asked with a smile, "Brother Han Fei, have you been very lucky since you were a child?" Han Fei shook his head. "Am I a person who relies on luck? I rely on my strength." Chen Jia curled her lips. "You rely on your strength? Do you think there are few people in the Heavenly Water Village who don't know your background?" So far, except for the killing of Li Ju, which was incredible to everyone, everything else seemed to be related to Tang Guo. Swish, just when everyone was relaxed, 5 rays of spiritual energy suddenly shot out from the sky. Chen Jia shouted, "Not good, fish hook." Swish, a cyan light shot through Chen Jia in an instant. Han Fei saw clearly that it was an arrow, which directly penetrated Chen Jia's left shoulder and nailed her to the deck. Explode, then Han Fei saw 4 or 5 figures jump down from the sky, and one of them had already prepared a spiritual energy explosion on his long rod. "Sister Ling, be careful." Han Fei's face suddenly changed, and his fat body pounced like a tiger and suddenly stood in front of Chen Ling. Bam, Han Fei. Chen Ling was shocked. She knew that Han Fei's defense power was very strong, but would he be hurt if he blocked this rod unprepared? Unfortunately, there was no time for Chen Ling to think about it. Her body had been pushed away by Han Fei, but she saw a smile on Han Fei's face. The person above Han Fei seemed to be very surprised. They had been paying attention to this fat man for a long time, but he didn't understand why this fat man was so fast. This person only saw two cold lights flashing in front of his eyes, and the next moment, he heard a shout behind him. "Get away from that fat man." Han Fei's head had turned around. "Get away. I gave you face, didn't I?" Read 2. Chapter 115. Han Fei's speed was so fast that before the person behind him could react, Han Fei's double knives had been inserted into his left and right shoulders. "Ah, asshole, damn fatty, you're courting death. Little thief, go to hell." At this moment, a total of 5 people landed on Han Fei's white fishing boat. Except for the boy who had been stabbed twice by Han Fei, there were 4 other boys. Han Fei was stunned. They were all teenagers. These people looked the same age as him. "Kill him." The 4 of them abandoned Chen Ling and Qin Jia, almost at the same time. 2 of the 4 used spiritual energy explosions, one held a bow in his hand, and at this moment, the arrow was already on the bowstring, and the last one used a sword and was already stabbing at Han Fei. Ha! The double knives in Han Fei's hands also surged with spiritual energy, and he also used spiritual energy explosion attacks. In an instant, with Han Fei as the center, a wave of air directly exploded. How is it possible? When the 4 boys realized what happened, they found that Han Fei was unscathed. He was hit by an arrow, a sword, and a rod. "I'll kill you." Han Fei stared at one of them. It was this guy who called him fatty. The 2 knives in his hands turned and slashed down like lightning. Fuse, the boy reacted quickly. He immediately covered his body with a spiritual energy protective cover and then fused with his spiritual energy. Han Fei saw a tortoise phantom merge into his body. Puff, even so, the boy was still slashed away by Han Fei, and his clothes were torn, revealing a long bloody mark. At this time, Qin Jia, and Chen Ling had already reacted. Both of them instantly fused with their spiritual beasts, and the long rods in their hands were surging with spiritual energy. Humph! Spirit entanglement, the sword-wielding young man retreated, and suddenly countless seaweeds emerged from his side, entangling Chen Ling and Qin Jia, Qin Jia's face changed drastically. Spirit entanglement grass. Are you from the town? A phantom appeared in front of Qin Jia, and 2 lobster pincers clamped at the spirit entanglement grass. The sword-wielding young man shouted, "Bind." The spirit entanglement grass instantly shrank, directly binding Qin Jia, and Chen Ling's 2 lobster pincers were directly broken, and she didn't even have the chance to resist. Seeing this scene, Han Fei kicked the purple bamboo rod at his feet, held it in his hand, and smashed it at the sword-wielding young man. The young man didn't panic and the spirit entanglement grass surged at him. Explode, with Han Fei's spiritual energy, the spiritual energy exploded. The sword-wielding young man's spiritual energy exploded. At this moment, Han Fei was surrounded by 5 people. Although 2 of them were injured by Han Fei, they still seemed to have the power to fight. Especially the boy who had been stabbed twice by Han Fei. He had taken a pill and his face was very gloomy. "Didn't you say that the people in the town wouldn't attack us?" Han Fei. "You said that you and killed I said, Han Fei said, you can. And you can. You. Han Hai and I. Han Li and Fei and. Han Fei, you. Of Li. The young man who was injured by Han Fei shouted in a low voice, "Damn fatty, if you hand over the treasure-digging fish and kowtow to this young master a few times, I might consider letting you go." Han Fei continued to scratch the ground. "Spare me. A loser like you isn't even a match for me. You want to let me go?" The bow-wielding young man said calmly, "Attention, this fatty's defense is very strong. All our attacks can't break his defense, not even his spiritual energy protective cover. Attack him with all your strength. Chen Jia, scolded, asshole, the level 1 fishery depends on our own ability. Why do the people in the town want to suppress us? The sword-wielding young man sneered, you said it yourself, the level 1 fishery depends on our own ability, so I just robbed you of your treasure-digging fish. Chen Jia, frowned but still said to Han Fei, don't be entangled by the spirit entanglement grass. It will suck up your spiritual energy. Han Fei nodded slightly. Okay. Han Fei looked at the sky. It seems that some people haven't come down yet. Are they sure you will win? A young man sneered. If we can't even beat a fatty like you, how can we be the heavenly talents of the town? Han Fei's face became more and more ugly and his fat lips trembled. You know what? I hate it when people call me fatty. People in the sky, listen up, if you don't come down, I will kill these guys. Don't blame me for not reminding you. You want to kill us? Are you qualified? The next moment, they all moved, including Han Fei. In an instant, he launched the crazy devil's rod and his rod was so fast that it startled the 5 boys. Damn it, so fast. Is this a fatty? Han Fei's target at this moment was not the others, but the guy holding the bow and arrow. This guy's bow and arrow almost pierced his skin just now. I'll kill you. Clang, 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 there were 3 people standing in front of the bow-wielding youth to protect him. However, what shocked them was that 3 rods were no match for 1 rod. This fatty was so agile that he didn't seem like a fatty at all. The speed at which he struck with his rod was too fast. Behind him, Han Fei felt the spirit entanglement grass coming at him again, but he suddenly stepped into the air. Under everyone's horrified gaze, Han Fei actually stepped on the wind and rose. At that second, everyone was stunned. How could such a fat man step in the air? Explode. Han Fei used a total of 300 points of spiritual energy for this attack, which was almost the total spiritual energy of a junior fishing master. Therefore, when he launched this attack, the boy with a tortoise spiritual beast suddenly rushed forward, roared, and a tortoise phantom floated in the air, as if to resist this attack. Bam, Kacha, the tortoise shell phantom burst into pieces and the boy flew into the sea like a kite with a broken string. Han Fei was confident that this attack had broken the boy's hands. Without hands, he would be dead if he fell into the water. But suddenly, several spirit entanglement grasses stretched out in the air, and the boy was pulled back by the sword-wielding young man behind him. How dare you pull me back? Han Fei immediately abandoned his rod and stepped on the wind. His twin knives were as fast as lightning and he directly identified the spirit entanglement grasses. But what surprised Han Fei even more was that the bow-wielding young man waved his fishing rod, wrapped it around the boy, and pulled him back again. At the moment when the boy came back, in addition to the spiritual energy protective cover, the 2 people in front of Han Fei seemed to have an extra layer of armor, which was woven with spiritual energy. Ha! Something's up. Han Fei looked back at the sword-wielding young man. So, are you the rumored manipulator? The sword-wielding young man frowned. He didn't seem to expect this fatty to be so strong, but he still said arrogantly, Humph, you're not stupid. Han Fei continued, unfortunately, you have no soul warriors, hunters, or spirit gatherers here. What makes you think you can beat me? Han Fei moved again, but this time he didn't chase the bow-wielding young man, but the sword-wielding young man behind him. Old Jiang said that in a team, only manipulators and spirit gatherers were the most terrifying. Once they met, they should be killed immediately. The sword-wielding young man's face changed and the spirit entanglement grasses rushed towards Han Fei wildly. Unfortunately, in front of Han Fei's hands that had almost become a shadow, no matter how many spirit entanglement grasses there were, they were all torn to pieces. The sword-wielding young man knew that he couldn't beat the fatty in front of him, so he directly manipulated the spirit entanglement grasses to wrap himself up and circled back to the bow-wielding young man. Han Fei scratched his belly. Not bad. Han Fei looked up at the sky and said again, the guy in the sky, if you don't come down, I'll kill you. I've already given you 2 warnings. Arrogant. How dare you? Fatty, don't be so arrogant. Fatty, you're just an intermediate fishing master. I'm afraid your spiritual energy has been exhausted, right? You're still bluffing. Seeing that the people in the sky had no intention of coming down, Han Fei burst out in anger. Explode, explode, explode. Han Fei was really angry this time. He didn't want to expose too much of his strength before, but these teenagers were really flexible. Although they were no match for him, they didn't panic. However, when infinite spiritual energy burst out, everyone was dumbfounded. They could take 1 hit, but what about 2? What about 3? At the first hit, the spiritual energy armor and protective cover of the 2 rod-wielding teenagers were directly shattered. At the second hit, Han Fei ignored the flying arrow and directly smashed the 2 rod-wielding teenagers away. One of their rods was bent by Han Fei and his hands seemed to be broken. At the third hit, the spirit entanglement grasses tried to protect them, but they couldn't withstand the explosion at all and were directly shattered. The sword-wielding young man was smashed away and vomited blood. Fortunately, the spirit entanglement grasses grabbed the railing so that he didn't fall into the sea. The 3 hits seemed to have bought some time for the bow-wielding young man. The bow-wielding young man stepped on the railing and leaped up abruptly. The 3 long arrows in his hands turned into 3 white lights and shot at Han Fei. Read 2. Chapter 116. Spiritual Energy Protective Cover. Han Fei roared, and a palm-sized knife suddenly appeared in his hand. Swish, clank, clank, clank. After 3 strikes, Han Fei took 3 steps back and the spiritual energy protective cover on his body was shattered by the arrows. He took a deep breath. The bow-wielding boy's attack power was very strong. Even a peak-level fishing master wouldn't dare to take these 3 arrows head-on. Of course, Han Fei was not an ordinary person. When he was hit by these 3 arrows, the bow-wielding boy grunted and fell from the sky. His chest was pierced and his heart was almost shot by Han Fei. The sword-bearing boy coughed up blood and looked at Han Fei coldly. Despicable. Ha, I'm despicable. Do you think it's a good idea to fight 5 against 1? Explode. Han Fei raised his rod and smashed at them again. Han Fei didn't hold back because he saw these boys were not afraid at all and their attacks and defenses were still stable. If Han Fei's guess was right, the man above was their trump card. Bam! Just at the moment when Han Fei smashed his rod out, he saw a middle-aged man standing in front of him and blocking with his rod. Han Fei was sent flying more than 3 meters away and even took 4 or 5 steps back. Stop. Fury. Stop my ass. Han Fei's strength soared explosively in an instant and he attacked again with the crazy devil's rod. This time, he didn't hold back at all. If it weren't for the fact that he was too weird after fusing with his spiritual beast, he would have fused with it. Ha! So strong. Is he getting stronger again? Bam, 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 the middle-aged man had to fight back and the 2 sides were fighting back and forth. Qin Jia, and Qin Ling were stunned. Han Fei's strength had exceeded their understanding. That was a youth from the town. He had single-handedly taken care of the 2 of them with just 1 move. But it was such a character that Han Fei defeated 5 of them alone. Qin Jia shouted, Han Fei, the other party is a great fishing master. The middle-aged man said, Boy, stop. They are not as good as you. I'll take them away. Get lost. Do you think you can come and go as you please? Do you think I didn't do it? The middle-aged man frowned. Boy, don't go too far. Ha, am I going too far? Explode. Han Fei didn't dare to say that he could defeat a great fishing master, but in terms of strength, he was sure that the person in front of him was definitely no match for him. Boom, 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 bang, 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 even a great fishing master couldn't resist Han Fei's crazy attacks. The 5 teenagers behind the middle-aged man were dumbfounded. How could this fatty be so strong? That was their teacher. How could he be evenly matched with him? The middle-aged man also seemed to feel embarrassed and shouted, piercing electricity. Then Han Fei saw an electric arc around him. He saw a jellyfish floating above the middle-aged man's head. The jellyfish was generating electricity and it numbed Han Fei's body. However, this experience couldn't be compared with that of the hexagon starfish. So Han Fei just shook his body and launched another attack. Damn it! The middle-aged man was speechless. Was this fatty's spiritual energy inexhaustible? Why was it still not used up? Just as he took the blow, he saw Han Fei suddenly retreat and a knife shot out as fast as lightning. Single blade of the universe. The middle-aged man's face changed drastically. Fuse. At that moment, the middle-aged man activated a spiritual energy protective cover, fused with his spiritual beast, and held his rod in front of him. Crack! The middle-aged man was sent flying backward, his mouth was torn, and a trace of blood came out of the corner of his mouth, but he didn't seem to be seriously injured. However, his spiritual energy protective cover and spiritual beast fusion were broken. Cough, cough. Boy, don't challenge my patience. Although you are not weak, you can't hurt my students with me here. In fact, Han Fei was also panting. After all, he was still an intermediate fishing master and his attack means were limited. Even if he was very strong, he seemed to be weak in front of a real great fishing master. The reason why he used the single blade of the universe was just to see if his current body could withstand the feeling of weakness. But after this attempt, Han Fei felt much better. At least he didn't lose his mind like when he fought Jiang Qin for the first time. At the same time, he also confirmed that a great fishing master was much stronger than a normal fishing master. If the person in front of him was Li Ju, although he was only a half-step great fishing master, he would definitely be killed by him. Han Fei gasped. Your students hurt me for no reason and you let them use me as a training target. Do you think you can just let it go? The middle-aged man snorted coldly. What do you want? Han Fei sneered. Don't forget, I haven't fused with my spiritual beast yet. The middle-aged man's face changed slightly. Even if you have fused with your spiritual beast, so what? Even if I can't kill you, none of your 5 students can escape. The middle-aged man's eyes were cold. Boy, are you provoking me? Ha ha ha, Han Fei laughed. I dare not. You are a great fishing master. You are strong. You have the final say. You are from the town, right? Do you dare to tell me your name? When I go to the town, I will challenge you. The middle-aged man was thinking whether he should take the opportunity to kill Han Fei. Anyway, there was no one around, so it shouldn't be a big deal to kill him. What? Want to kill me? Even if you are a great fishing master, what can you do to me? You are at most an intermediate great fishing master, or even a junior great fishing master. Even if I stand still and let you kill me, you may not be able to kill me. How dare you? The middle-aged man frowned. This fatty was right. His defense power was too strong. God knew why there was such a monster in the village. Why didn't such a monster go to the town? Of course, I will challenge you. It's a fair fight. But don't you give me an explanation for your students? They failed to rob my treasure-digging fish. Don't they have to pay for it? Behind the middle-aged man, the sword-bearing boy was slightly angry. Fatty, what do you want? Han Fei's face suddenly changed and his momentum soared. I'll say it again. Whoever dares to call me fatty again will die today. So what if your teacher is here? If I really fight, I can kill you even if he is here. The sword-bearing boy shouted, arrogant. Arrogant? Han Fei waved the knife in his hand, cut off the spirit entangling grasses on Qin Jia, and Qin Ling, and at the same time, poured 2 pillars of spiritual energy into their bodies. At this moment, everyone including the middle-aged great fishing master was shocked. The middle-aged man exclaimed, Are you a spirit gatherer? The bow-bearing boy asked, How is it possible? How can a spirit gatherer appear in these fishing villages? As soon as Chen Jia, and Chen Ling recovered their spiritual energy, they immediately stood up with their rods, ready to fight. Han Fei asked, "So, do you just want to leave like this?" Han Fei knocked on the boat under his feet with his rod. "In such a fierce battle, my boat is intact. Gee, the quality is really good." The middle-aged man's face changed again. He had noticed this just now. Yes. The quality of this boat was so good that it couldn't belong to Han Fei. There must be someone behind Han Fei who was definitely stronger than him. The middle-aged man said, "I'm Yi Nanfei, a teacher of the fighting department of the 3rd Academy of the Blue Sea Town. Boy, I'm waiting for you to come to the town to challenge me. As for compensation, tell me what you want." The middle-aged man directly mentioned compensation. He had no doubt that the fat man in front of him would fight him to the end. He really didn't dare to kill him now. Han Fei said, "A total of 5 people besieged us. I don't want much. Just 5 rare spiritual fish. I'll let you go." Immediately, the 5 boys behind the middle-aged man shouted angrily. "Are you crazy for rare spiritual fish? Do you think we have 5 rare spiritual fish? Are you going too far?" Han Fei smiled. "I'm going too far. You can't beat me, so you say I'm going too far. I see that all of you have exotic spiritual beasts. Can't you even take out 5 rare spiritual fish?" The sword-bearing boy replied, "I'll give you 2, no more." Han Fei's voice suddenly rose. "Do you think I'm joking with you? Do you think I'm a beggar?" The middle-aged man took a deep look at Han Fei. "Which village are you from?" "I'm from the Heavenly Water Village." "Han Fei, if you want to retaliate, you can come as long as you dare." The middle-aged man narrowed his eyes. "I also have a rare spiritual crab here. I'll give you 3 first. The other 2 will be sent to your village leader in 2 days. Han Fei didn't care what he got. In the end, he got a crab and 2 cuttlefish, none of which were fish. But since they were all rare, Han Fei didn't care. "Okay, you can go now." The middle-aged man snorted and left with the 5 students. As soon as they boarded the boat, they heard Han Fei say, "The geniuses in the town are just so. Read 2. Chapter 117. The sword-bearing boy and the bow-bearing boy stopped and looked back angrily, only to see that Han Fei was scratching his belly with his hand. He didn't look like the wild fatty at all. The fishing boat took off and a boy said aggrievedly, "Damn Han Fei, don't let me see him again. Otherwise, I won't let him go." The sword-bearing boy didn't speak but looked at the middle-aged man. "Teacher, is this person really an intermediate fishing master? Why is he so strong? And he is also a spirit gatherer." As soon as the young man said this, everyone fell silent. Yes, that fatty was too strong. They had used all of their battle techniques, but they couldn't even scratch his skin. This huge sense of defeat was almost unbearable. If Han Fei was a genius in the town, it wouldn't be a big deal, but he was just a boy from a fishing village. The middle-aged man said, "This person is not simple. His spiritual energy is extremely abundant. Although he is a spirit gatherer, he didn't absorb spiritual energy for us during the battle. Besides, even I am not as good as him in defensive power, so he must be the best. But anyway, it's not a bad thing for you to fail this time. There is always someone better than you. You just need to know that there is no shortage of geniuses in this world." The middle-aged man paused. "And, a fishing village can't trap this person. One day, when he steps into the town." The middle-aged man didn't continue, but everyone trembled. If this fatty stepped into the town, what would happen? Can he enter the top 100? The sword-bearing boy asked tentatively. The middle-aged man nodded. "It's possible." "Wow," everyone gasped. This was too exaggerated. The top 100 of the 3 academies were all junior peak-level great fishing masters. The bow-wielding youth secretly tightened his grip on the bow in his hand. He had always felt that his explosive power was unparalleled. Even in the town, he would be ranked among the top hundreds. But today, he had not been able to break through his defense. He murmured, "Could it be that I've chosen the wrong path of cultivation?" When the middle-aged man and the others left, Han Fei sat on the deck like a dead pig, groaning, "Sister Jia, let's go back." "No, I'm exhausted. I can't move." Qin Jia, and Qin Ling were dumbfounded. "Didn't you just say that if the other party didn't give you rare spiritual fish, you would fight to the death?" "So, it was all an act?" Qin Jia, asked, "Can you still do it?" "No, I feel that my hands and feet are not my own. A great fishing master is really powerful. I hit him with all my strength, but he only slightly hurt him. If we really fight, I'm afraid I'll have to run away." Chen Ling said leisurely, "Han Fei, this is a great opportunity for you. We can't accept that you've suddenly become so strong." Qin Jia, agreed. "That's a great fishing master." They started fighting as soon as they said they would, and they even managed to injure him. Even if it was just a light injury, it was something to be proud of. In the level 1 fishery, they had never seen anyone dare to beat a great fishing master in the town. You may not believe it, but you have to be reckless in a fight. Just like tonight, no matter whether you can beat him or not, you have to fight first. Han Fei scratched his belly again. When the middle-aged man took out the 3 rare creatures just now, he really wanted to take out the water-stirring seal and let them stay here. However, when he thought about it, he realized that he might feel good for a moment, but the trouble that would follow would be something that he might not be able to handle, so he might as well give up. After a long rest, Han Fei slowly got up and looked at the 3 spiritual creatures. Lightning Crab Level 17 Quality, Rare, contains spiritual energy 210 points. Edible effect. Lightning Crab Roe can enhance humans' explosive power. Collectible Crab Claws. Absorbable. Han Fei remembered that Zhang Peng's spiritual beast was a lightning crab, and today he got a lightning crab. Han Fei turned his head and looked at the 2 squids. Name Swift Squid. Level 16 Quality, Rare, contains spiritual energy 140 points. Edible effect. Long-term consumption can enhance the endurance of human meridians. Collectible Ink Gall and can be used to escape. Absorbable. Han Fei secretly took a breath. He already had a mutant mantis shrimp king and 4 rare creatures. He really wanted to try refining demons here and see what he could refine. Of course, this kind of secret couldn't be shown to outsiders. Han Fei suppressed his inner excitement and decided to go back first. Han Fei said, "Sister Jia, Sister Xiaoling, go to the village leader to get some rare spiritual creatures. I'm going back to cultivate." Qin Jia shook her head. "No, you robbed them." Chen Ling nodded. "Yes, keep them for yourself. Don't be so polite with me. After all, we're all in the same boat." "Who's with who?" "It's just 2 fish. I'll give them to you." "Why do I need so many rare spiritual fish?" Qin Jia, was confused. "I really don't need so many. There are only a few people in my fish dragons who are worth giving away. I can't give the rest to fishermen, can I?" Qin Jia, smiled. "Okay, thank you, Brother Han Fei." Chen Ling tilted her head. "Wow, we've only been out for 1 day and we've harvested 6 rare spiritual creatures. Jia, this seems to be the most fruitful harvest we've ever had, right?" Qin Jia, added, "More than that. We haven't had such a big harvest in decades." Heavenly Water Village. The village leader was stunned and looked at Han Fei as if he was a monster. The village leader asked, "Did you fight with a great fishing master?" Han Fei scratched his belly. "Just a little bit, not a real fight." The 2 girls rolled their eyes. "Not a real fight? That last strike of yours felt like you were going to split him in half." "Oh. I see. Han Fei, are you really not going to the town?" Thinking that Xiao Yu would laugh so hard when she saw him, he shook his head. "No, I'm not going. I still have a lot of things to do." Grandpa Village Chief, I'm going into seclusion. Bye-bye. Village Chief. He didn't want to be questioned by the village leader. There were some things that he didn't know how to answer. The village leader looked at Chen Jia, and Chen Ling. Don't tell anyone about this, including the fishing masters of our village. I have my own plans. Yes, Village Chief. The Fish Dragon's Martial Arts Hall. Han Fei stuffed all the 4 rare creatures into the demon purification pot. He didn't care about the treasure-digging fish. He didn't care about what was in the treasure-digging fish's head. Could it be more than the hexagon starfish? The bad starfish had accumulated a pile of junk for hundreds of years. What could this treasure-digging fish dig up in the level 1 fishery? Then, the content of the demon refinement changed. Mutated mantis shrimp king, treasure-digging fish, lightning crab, swift cuttlefish, swift cuttlefish. 10,000 points of spiritual energy fusion result unknown. Should I refine it? Han Fei looked at his more than 680,000 points of spiritual energy. 10,000 points of spiritual energy was a piece of cake for him. Refine. The 5 rare creatures shattered in the blink of an eye and were sucked in by a dark vortex, and what gradually emerged was a pale golden mantis shrimp with a long tail. Contractual spiritual pet name: a 9-tailed mantis shrimp, 3 tails. Introduction: a mutated mantis shrimp, with fast speed and extremely strong attack ability. It is good at hiding itself and sneaking up on prey. When it grows up to its complete form, its 9 tails will turn into 9 divine chains and its combat power is extremely strong. Level 14 Quality: legendary, spiritual energy greater than 690 points. Food: omnivorous, prefers shrimp. Remarks: current status, 3 tails. Can continue to be refined. Wow. Damn. This thing is a bit too strong. As soon as Han Fei said so, a mutated mantis shrimp more than 3 meters long appeared in front of him, with 3 long tails made of unknown materials waving behind its butt. The 9-tailed mantis shrimp pounced on Han Fei as soon as it saw him, and it hugged Han Fei with its 6 claws. Go away. Do you think you are a dog? You have no tongue and your whole body is a shell. Bam, bam. Han Fei noticed that the 9-tailed mantis shrimp was bumping into him. He looked down and kicked it away, scaring it into a circle. Han Fei cursed, "Are you a shrimp? You're the fucking 9-tailed mantis shrimp. You're as good as Tai Ritian. You bastard. How did I synthesize you? Get back into my body." With a swish, the 9-tailed mantis shrimp turned into a golden light and disappeared into Han Fei's arm. Han Fei hurriedly looked around. Fortunately, he was in the martial arts drill hall. If he were outside, he would be ashamed of himself in the infinite ocean. You wouldn't believe me if I told you that. One day, I was almost eaten by a shrimp. Read 2. Chapter 118. Han Fei's contribution this time was huge, so theoretically, he could rest for 3 months or even longer. Of course, Han Fei didn't take it seriously at all. He felt that the level 1 fishery was no longer challenging. Should he consider going to the level 2 fishery? However, before that, he decided to lose weight first. In the plantation. Since Han Fei became fat, he had been discriminated against by Old Jiang, and his low status had plummeted. Old Jiang said while basking in the sun, "How long has it been since you last took care of these fields? Today, pull out all the weeds in the field first, and then trim the branches and leaves of those ugly spiritual plants." Han Fei asked, "Grandpa, can I call someone from the fish dragons to do it? Isn't it a waste of time for me to do this?" Old Jiang scoffed, "Oh, look at how fat you are. Can you lose weight without exercising?" Han Fei was speechless. "Can this level of exercise help me lose weight?" Old Jiang waved his hand and threw a ball of water on Han Fei's face. "Shut up. Don't talk back." Han Fei was speechless. "If I had known this would happen, I would have stayed in the fish dragons. Why did I have to come here to suffer?" Now not only did he have to take care of the land, but he also had to cook. If it weren't for the fact that the old man could drink water whenever he stretched out his hand, he would have asked Han Fei to serve him tea. Fortunately, Jiang Qin's appearance saved him. On the training ground of the plantation, Jiang Qin said, although you haven't officially become a soul warrior, with your current size and physical strength, you are fully qualified for the main position of a soul warrior. Han Fei's eyes lit up. Then can I learn it now? Han Fei had long felt that he was not the kind of person who could last a long time. The crazy devil's rod didn't improve his strength much but made him crazy. But Fury, which really brought him combat power, couldn't be used for a long time, and Universe Slash made him feel very weak. Both of them were explosive skills. It was very difficult for him to fight with someone who was also tough. Jiang Qin asked, I heard that you fought with a great fishing master. How do you feel? Han Fei replied, I don't think the other party used his full strength, nor did he use any special combat skills, but I can be sure that the other party's strength and physical fitness are average. Jiang Qin was speechless. An intermediate fishing master said that a great fishing master's strength and physique were mediocre. If it were someone else, he would probably be beaten to death. What else? There's more. The students in the town are quite powerful. Their spiritual beasts are strange, and they have many combat skills. By the way, their weapons are no longer all sticks. In general, long sticks are still the main weapons of fishing masters, because ordinary people can't get in touch with special weapons such as knives, spears, swords, and halberds. Even if they use them, most of the time, they'll just use them like sticks, so they might as well use sticks. I think the bow is good. Its lethality is tremendous. Jiang Qin shook her head. Battle bows are one of the most difficult types of combat skills. Do you think it's easy? Every day, day after day, year after year, only by aiming at imaginary targets and shooting tens of thousands of times can one attain such proficiency in archery. Do you think it's simple? Han Fei scratched his belly. Who didn't know archery? I used to be an advanced student in a professional archery club, then I'll use a knife. Jiang Qin said, I guessed so. With your current size, you still need a broadsword. Sister Qin, please don't make personal attacks. Jiang Qin sneered, but then her face became very serious. Han Fei, let me tell you again. Do you want to become a soul warrior? This is completely different from becoming a spirit gatherer. It's your own chance to become a spirit gatherer. And it's not your chance that I want you to become a soul warrior, but in exchange. If you learn all the skills of a soul warrior from me, then you have to promise me one thing, which may involve your life and death. Seeing Jiang Qin's seriousness, Han Fei stopped being naughty and responded seriously, Sister Qin, let's talk about something first. Jiang Qin turned her back to Han Fei. I didn't want to tell you because you were too weak, but now I've changed my mind. Do you know why Grandpa and I came to the Heavenly Water Village? Han Fei shook his head. He was also surprised. When he first met this old man, he felt that this old man was very unusual. How could a person who owned such a large plantation in the Heavenly Water Village be weak? That was impossible. He was definitely no weaker than the village leader. Then when he saw old Jiang beat the village leader, he didn't even move his feet but just waved his hand. This was impossible for a great fishing master to do. Jiang Qin explained, Grandpa and I are from the Thousand Star City, yes, the same place as Fang Zhe. Han Fei smacked his lips. I guessed it. When you talked about Fang Zhe, you showed no respect, so you regarded Fang Zhe as an equal or even lower existence than yourself, right? Jiang Qin looked at Han Fei curiously. You're smart, but why do you talk about Fang Zhe without any respect? Isn't he a god in the eyes of everyone in the Heavenly Water Village? Han Fei replied, God? Hey, how can there be so many gods in this world? Fang Zhe is at most an ordinary character in the city. He must be far from those high-level people. He can only be powerful in this small place. Why should I respect him so much? My goal is the infinite ocean. Maybe when I become a god, he hasn't. Ah. Han Fei was slapped away and Jiang Qin complained, "You're still young, but you're so arrogant. You just got some insignificant opportunities, but you're so arrogant. People like you are easy to die on the road of cultivation." Han Fei got up from the ground. "So I have to lose weight, so that I can run fast. If I can't beat him, I'll fight him. If I can't beat him, I'll run away. That's the right thing to do." Jiang Qin really wanted to slap this bastard to death. How could he talk about running away so confidently? Jiang Qin waved her hand. "Okay, I don't want to talk nonsense with you. The reason why I let you become a soul warrior is that I want you to help me find someone." Han Fei wondered, "Sister Qin, you are a soul warrior yourself. Can't you find him? Can't you find him with your strength? Do you think I didn't find him? Grandpa and I have been on the floating island for 3 years and have never stopped looking for him. The reason why I chose you is that your luck is too good. I don't care if it happens once or twice, but if it happens 3, 4, 5, or 6 times, I have to look at you in a different light." Han Fei scratched his belly. "Actually, I rely on my strength." Ha! The level 1 fishery and the level 2 fishery had been rummaged through by countless experts. But you can find opportunities in such a place. What do you think I will think of you? You can even enter the seabed grotto and come out alive, which shows that you are a person with good luck. Han Fei was shocked. "Ah! You know." Jiang Qin curled her lips. "How many opportunities can there be in an ordinary fishery? If I guess correctly, you have been to the only 2 opportunities that I can't enter. This is luck." Seeing Han Fei swallow, Jiang Qin waved her hand and said, "In fact, there are many places with opportunities. As far as we know, there are hundreds of forbidden places. There are always people who can find opportunities." Han Fei asked weakly, "Then why don't the strong explore them?" "Some people don't want to go in, some people don't want to go in, and some people don't even bother to come to the village. Of course, most of these opportunities are of no use to the strong." Han Fei was disappointed. "I thought I had found a great opportunity and kept it a secret, but it turns out that she already knew it." "Okay. Who are you looking for? Where is he?" "I don't know. I only know that he last appeared in the Heavenly Water Village or somewhere in the level 3 fishery." Han Fei asked. "No, Sister Qin, if you and Grandpa come from the city, is the level 3 fishery difficult for you? Do you know what a dangerous place is? Not to mention the level 3 fishery, even an unknown dangerous place in an ordinary fishery can still kill countless strong masters." Han Fei asked, "So I can find it if you can't?" Jiang Qin looked at Han Fei. "I'm not counting on you, but you need to help us look for it when the time comes. If I'm not mistaken, this dangerous place is related to the unknown place outside the level 3 fishery, which is far from as simple as you think. Besides, not only you, but I also found someone else, but you seem to have more potential." Han Fei raised his eyebrows. "So I'm just a spare tire?" Han Fei wondered if the so-called secret was in the treasure left to him by that old bastard Ren Tianfei, right? This old bastard was really unpredictable. "Based on your performance in the level 1 fishery this time, I'm afraid that someone will come to invite you to the town in a few days. At that time, I'm afraid you will have to go even if you don't want to. If you are willing to learn from me and become a soul warrior, I can help you deal with them. Of course, you can also choose to refuse." "Hey! Then help me. But let me tell you, if I feel that I definitely can't find that place, or if I find that place, I will definitely die, I will give up. If you have a chance to give up at that time, of course, you just need to convey the news to me." "Okay, then let's get started." Read 2. Chapter 119. Plantation Training Ground. Jiang Qin explained, "Soul warriors are different from other professions. Hunters focus on super explosive power, spirit gatherers support their teammates everywhere, manipulators control the battlefield, and armorists have the top defensive power and single combat ability. And soul warriors, to stabilize the battlefield, must ensure that you have a strong physique, hard combat skills, the ability to attack the enemy's rear, and the courage to press forward. With that, Jiang Qin picked up a fine iron rod. Come on. You are now an intermediate peak-level fishing master, but you can fight against a great fishing master. When I was an intermediate fishing master, I might not even be able to defeat those who were not intermediate fishing masters. Now I'll suppress my realm to that of an intermediate fishing master and fight you. Han Fei was shocked. Sister Qin, you don't have to fight so hard, right? Jiang Qin didn't speak and rushed up. Just like last time, it seemed to Han Fei that it was a meaningless battle. But when Jiang Qin struck out with the rod, her spirit changed instantly. Clang, Han Fei raised his rod to block. To be honest, I feel I'm invincible among intermediate fishing masters now. But Jiang Qin dodged to the side and the fine iron rod in her hand slashed at him from the side like a knife. Han Fei chose to take it head-on because he felt that the knife light condensed from spiritual energy couldn't hurt him at all. Han Fei waved the crazy devil's rod in his hand and collided with the fine iron rod in Jiang Qin's hand again and again, making clanging sounds. Fuse. In an instant, Jiang Qin's momentum soared and a suit of armor suddenly appeared on her body. Han Fei wasn't sure because the armor on Jiang Qin's body was too real. In addition to the armor, 6 spider-like claws stretched out from her back. Swish, 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 Han Fei's face changed. These spider feet could change positions. When Jiang Qin kicked, when she punched, Han Fei felt that he was fighting with 4 people head-on. Damn, 3 heads and 6 arms. This was Han Fei's first impression. He was like Neza with 3 heads and 6 arms, but he was even more terrifying than Neza. 8 hands fighting against 2 hands. How terrifying was that? Jiang Qin seemed to have gone crazy and her attack speed was extremely fast. Han Fei could see that Jiang Qin had also compressed her spiritual energy to that of an intermediate fishing master, so at this moment, she consumed as much as she wanted. Ding ding ding, Han Fei realized that his Mad Devil's rod was completely useless. No matter how fast the rod was, it couldn't block the lightning-fast attacks of 4 people. For a moment, Han Fei's body was pierced by the needles. Just when Han Fei thought it was over, he heard Jiang Qin shout. Burn! At that moment, Jiang Qin's voice hit his ears, and Han Fei felt that his blood was boiling. He was so angry that he wanted to attack Jiang Qin. Han Fei ignored the spider legs and unleashed his spiritual energy. Explode! Shield wall, Jiang Qin shouted, and the 6 spider horns instantly closed, forming a large shield. Bang! Han Fei frowned. So strong. Han Fei was sure that he didn't hold back, but facing Jiang Qin, who was in the same realm as him, he felt like he was facing a great fishing master. Jiang Qin, who was knocked flying, ran quickly with the spider legs on her armor, shouting, Thunderstrike. The 6 spider legs closed again and turned into a sharp thorn. Han Fei stabbed it with all his strength. With a clang, Han Fei took 3 or 4 steps back in the billowing airwaves, and Jiang Qin had taken the opportunity to go behind him. Just when Han Fei turned around, he felt that his back had been stabbed dozens of times. Han Fei roared, Fury. Then before Han Fei could complete the transformation of fury, Jiang Qin shouted at the same time, Spiritual Energy Shock. In an instant, the spiritual energy in Han Fei's body stagnated, and fury was interrupted by this shock wave before it was completed. And at this moment, all 6 spider legs were pointed at his throat. Jiang Qin was out of breath. Han Fei's body was too strong. Even she found it difficult to fight Han Fei at the same realm. Although it seemed that she was crushing Han Fei in all aspects, the result wouldn't be like this even if Han Fei had just become a soul warrior. Han Fei swallowed. Sister Qin, is this the power of a soul warrior? Jiang Qin cancelled the fusion and gasped. Yes, you thought I relied on my spiritual beast. In fact, I used at least 12 combat skills just now. A soul warrior who goes all out will never know what retreat is. Even if they die, they will never take a step back. And in such a battle, if I have enough spiritual energy, I will keep fighting. If there is a spirit gatherer here to help me, I can never stop, unless I am not as good as the enemy and am killed by the enemy. Wow, Han Fei could imagine that scene. If a terrifying soul warrior like Jiang Qin had a constant supply of spiritual energy, how could he continue fighting? He might as well admit defeat. Jiang Qin looked at Han Fei and said seriously, although I don't know where my senior brother went, he once said that it was a dangerous place left by a soul warrior. If this is the case, only soul warriors and armorists can explore that dangerous place, which is why I want to guide you to become a soul warrior. Han Fei asked, then do I have to learn a dozen combat skills first? Don't be greedy. You didn't use your full strength just now. Tomorrow, I will take you to the bottom of the sea for training, but at that time, I will use the strength of a great fishing master. Jiang Qin went back to sleep. Han Fei stood on the training ground and scratched his belly from time to time. In a battle between intermediate fishing masters, he was pressed to the ground. If it weren't for his strong physique, he would have died many times. This was a great blow to him. The moonlight was clear and the cool breeze was blowing. Old Jiang walked over slowly with a bottle of wine and sneered. Do you know how powerful I am? This is a reckless choice of profession. Don't you know that every battle's soul master is a lunatic? Han Fei scratched his belly and said with a little bitterness, I thought being a soul warrior would be as simple as being a spirit gatherer, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Puff, old Jiang was speechless. As simple? Please go to the town. When you go to the city, ask whether a spirit gatherer or a soul warrior is easier. You don't know shit. Old Jiang mocked Han Fei mercilessly, threw a jade slip to Han Fei, and left with the wine jug. Han Fei glanced at the jade slip in his hand and glanced inside. Spirit gathering array, water gathering technique, water control technique, water spirit array. A jade slip contained 4 kinds of things. Han Fei took a deep breath. Is this the secret of old Jiang's free water control? He had been eyeing this for a long time. He didn't expect the old man to give it to him today. It was really a surprise. The next day, the village leader led a middle-aged man to the plantation. Han Fei was making breakfast. When he saw the village leader, he couldn't help but say, Grandpa leader, you came at the right time. I've just made breakfast. Would you like to eat with me? The village leader replied, No, no. Han Fei. I'm here to see you today. Han Fei scratched his belly and asked in surprise, What can I do for you? The village leader explained, This is Mr. Shi Shan, a teacher from the 3rd Academy in the town. He is a peak-level great fishing master and he personally invites you to join the school in the town. Shi Shan was looking at Han Fei up and down. He seemed to be attracted by Han Fei's fat body. Shi Shan asked, I heard that you defeated 5 students from the 3rd Academy alone and still have the strength to fight with Yinan Fei? Shi Shan's eyes lit up. With his strength, he could see that Han Fei was still an intermediate fishing master. He couldn't help but say to the village leader, Old Zhao, why don't you send such an excellent student to the town? Why do you want to bury him here? The village leader replied, Hey. Let's see if you can persuade him. Shi Shan asked, Han Fei, right? Are you willing to go to the town with me to study? I can assure you that you will definitely become one of the top 100 heavenly talents in the town in 3 years at most. Han Fei blinked. No. Shi Shan was dumbfounded. Do you have to answer me so straightforwardly? I still have a lot of conditions that I haven't told you yet. Shi Shan said, Student Han Fei, you have to know that you have no future in the village, but it's different in the town. There are the most comprehensive combat skills, all kinds of advanced fishing techniques, and there are teachers who can lead you to practice, which is not available in the village. I said I won't go. Why do you talk so much nonsense? Old Jiang walked out with a dark face, pointed at Shi Shan's nose and said, "Get out of here. Don't you see I'm going to have breakfast?" Shi Shan was stunned. Who is this old man? Why is he so arrogant? The village leader warned, "Old Jiang, watch your mouth. I've already given you face by not kicking you two out. How dare you take away my disciple? Do you think I'm giving you face?" Read 2. Chapter 120. Shi Shan's face changed slightly. Your disciple? Han Fei also looked at old Jiang. When did I become your disciple? Make yourself clear. Old Jiang asked, What? Do you look down on me? Go back and ask Chu Mengxiue if I'm qualified. Shi Shan's face changed again. Does this old man know the president? Doesn't this person have the strength of a hanging fisher? But even so, Shi Shan didn't give up. If Han Fei was really as powerful as Yi Nanfei said, he should be a heavenly talent in the town. How could he let such a person go? Shi Shan asked, Senior, it's up to Han Fei to make his choice, right? Han Fei scratched his belly. I'm not going. I still have a lot of things to do here. Shi Shan's face was black. Kid, can you be more sensible? Don't you know what an opportunity is? Did you hear that? Hurry up and leave. Don't disturb my meal. Shi Shan was aggrieved, but this old man seemed to have revealed his identity to him. He didn't dare to force him, so he could only suppress his anger. Humph. Han Fei, I heard that you and Yi Nanfei said you would go to the town to challenge him. Then I'll wait for you at school. The village leader stared at him and finally patted Han Fei on the shoulder. Lose weight. Han Fei. At this time, Jiang Qin came out of the house lazily, picked up a bowl, scooped out the fish balls in the bowl, and put them into her mouth. Let's go after breakfast. Half a year later. After half a year of training, Han Fei had lost a lot of weight, but his height had been growing under this high-intensity battle and he was already more than 1.6 meters tall. But recently, Han Fei was a little distressed. He had nearly 700,000 points of spiritual energy, but now he only had less than 70,000 points left, which made him very sad. He felt that he should take a leave and find a chance to go out and look for treasures. In the morning, Han Fei was cooking potato stew fish balls, which were steaming hot at this moment. Seeing Jiang Qin go out, Han Fei greeted her. Sister Qin, it's time for breakfast. Are we still going to the level 1 fishery today? No training today and no training in the future. Huh? Holding the spoon, Han Fei was stunned. He asked tentatively, Have I finished my apprenticeship? You still have a long way to go. You've just adapted to fighting with me, but there are as many combat skills in this world as there are stars in the sky, and all kinds of spiritual beasts have their own characteristics. The underwater battles are no longer of much help to you. Go to the village and help. Help? Jiang Qin said carelessly, the resource competition has begun. Since you are still in the village, go and help. Let's get in touch with the experts from the other villages. Resource competition. Jiang Qin continued, every year, the 8 villages under the jurisdiction of the Blue Sea Town will select the most outstanding fishing masters in the villages to compete with each other to decide the distribution of Spirit Awakening fluid resources. Han Fei was surprised. Spirit Awakening fluid has to be won through competitions? Jiang Qin sneered. Do you think I gave it to you for free? Remember, if the other party is not a great fishing master, you are only allowed to use the strength of an intermediate fishing master. Okay, no problem. At this moment, old Jiang slowly walked out of the house and said leisurely, except for the basic spirit gathering art, don't use the spirit gathering array, water control technique, water spirit array, and other spirit gathering combat skills. Han Fei nodded again. Okay. Han Fei knew that he had finished his apprenticeship. When he walked out of the plantation, the smile on his face became more and more obvious, and the grin on his face became wider and wider. Ha ha ha. I finally don't have to farm anymore. The fish dragons had now become the second largest force in the Heavenly Water Village, only slightly weaker than the Wang family, but in terms of making money, the fish dragons could almost crush the Wang family. Internal meeting of the fish dragons. Han Fei asked, did anyone come to make trouble during my seclusion? Young master. Don't worry, no. No, okay, I got it. Lil Gang, how's the business of our fish dragons recently? Li Gang was no longer the little gangster he used to be. He seemed to follow in Han Fei's footsteps and his belly was even bigger than before. Young master, in the past 6 months, our fish dragons have been making money every day. We have opened hot pot restaurants in the east, west, south, and north, and the number of fish dragon card rooms has doubled. We have a stable income of about 200 mid-quality pearls every day, and even 500 mid-quality pearls at our peak. Han Fei was surprised. This fatty had a talent for business. Can you manage it? Li Gang said flatteringly, young master, there are more than 200 people in our gang now. The number of members of the fish dragons has reached more than 800, and this is the result of careful selection. Among them, 3 fishing masters have joined us, and our strength is growing day by day. Han Fei waved his hand. Then how much money do we have now? Half a month ago, our gang had 50,000 mid-quality pearls. Hearing this number, Han Fei was shocked. 50,000 mid-quality pearls. He only had 20 C coins at the beginning, but now he had become a local tycoon. Han Fei chuckled. Lil Gang, take out 10,000 mid-quality pearls and distribute them to the gang members. Don't be greedy. Even the most ordinary gang member can get at least 5 mid-quality pearls. As for how to distribute them, I don't care. Will it affect the normal development of the gang if I take 30,000 mid-quality pearls? Li Gang and the others were shocked. Take out 10,000 mid-quality pearls as a bonus? How willful was he? Li Gang hurriedly patted his chest. No, young master, you are too kind, but won't 10,000 be too much? Han Fei said, only when you have money will you work hard. You have to learn this truth. Yes, the fish dragons were no longer a competitive gang. Han Fei felt that if it weren't for the limited resources in the plantation, this business could be opened in the town or even the city, and he would definitely become a top tycoon. After dealing with the affairs of the fish dragons, Han Fei went to the village leader's house. Maybe influenced by Jiang Qin, he didn't dislike fighting at all and was even a little excited. 8 villages. Those who could come to participate in the competition must not be simple, right? The village leader's house. When Han Fei arrived, he found that there were more than 50 fishing masters in the village leader's house. Wow! Brother Han Fei, have you finished your cultivation? Chen Jia, was the first to greet him. She patted Han Fei's chest hard and smiled happily. Han Fei's face changed. Stop! You can't touch a man's chest. Bah, Chen Jia, blushed. How old are you? What's wrong with me touching your chest? Han Fei was taken aback and looked at the source of the sound, only to be surprised. He Xiaoyu? When did you come back? Ha ha ha. Han Fei, you really became a big fatty, ha ha ha. Are you trying to kill me? Han Fei's face turned black. He knew this would happen. What's wrong with being a fatty? Did I eat your big yellow croaker? Han Fei said, He Xiaoyu, shut up, little shorty, can you be more reserved like a girl? Who are you calling a little shorty? Who are you calling a big fatty? Just when Han Fei was bickering with He Xiaoyu, Han Fei saw a few other people. Wang Baiyu nodded at Han Fei. Hu Kun looked at Han Fei coldly and was still not so friendly. Although Xia Wushuang didn't participate in the awakening, his spiritual heritage was of a high level. He was recruited by the town as an exception and was now a fishing master. As for Xiang Nan and the others, Han Fei was not familiar with them, so he didn't greet them. He Xiaoyu jumped up and down. Han Fei, we just got home today. I heard that you opened a pot restaurant. It's said to be very delicious. Shall we go there later? Han Fei said, be careful or you'll become a fatty. He Xiaoyu scoffed. I'm not as fat as you. If my father hadn't told me that you had become a big fatty, I wouldn't have recognized you just now. Can you not call me a fatty every time you open your mouth? Cough, cough. Okay, don't make a fuss. We still have business to attend to. The village leader looked at Han Fei and said calmly, is it over? Han Fei scratched his belly. Yes. Okay, since it's over, you will lead the juvenile group this time. Han Fei was stunned. What juvenile group? Why is it him? Is he qualified? Read 2. Chapter 121. Hu Kun stood up. He still hated Han Fei. Now that he had a chance to humiliate Han Fei, he had to stand up. Everyone frowned and Zhao Debai said loudly, boy, how long have you been in the town? How many times have you been to the level 1 fishery? Are you going to lead the team? Qiao Fei added, boy, if you have a chance, you can go to the level 1 fishery and have a real battle. Don't talk nonsense if you haven't experienced actual combat. Hu Kun was speechless and his face turned red. He could criticize Han Fei, but he couldn't criticize these seniors. Xia Wushuang, Wang Baiyu, and the others were very surprised. It seemed that Han Fei was very familiar with these people and had experienced many actual battles in the level 1 fishery. Han Fei ignored Hu Kun and wondered, leading the team. Aren't we going to participate in some resource competition? Qiao Fei explained, the so-called resource competition is actually a competition of the potential and heritage of each village. The stronger the village is, the greater the potential of the village, so the more spirit awakening fluid it can get. Zhang Peng added, besides, most of the resource competition is carried out underwater, which is the best place to experience the strength of each village. Underwater? Zhang Peng said solemnly, do you think the resource competition is a fight? No, what is the original ability of fishing masters? It's fishing and the exploration of the ocean. Fighting is just to make us better survive in the fishery, and fishing is our vocation. The village leader said, okay. The juniors haven't experienced these things, so they don't quite understand. Let me briefly explain it to them. The so-called resource competition is mainly divided into 3 competitions. The first one is fishing on the sea. Everyone shows their skills. The village that catches more rare spiritual fish wins. The second one is underwater exploration. The village that finds the most valuable things in the exploration wins. The third one is fighting. Fighting itself is not the goal. Sharpening oneself through fighting is the real meaning. Wang Baiyu asked, leader, the reason why we divide the teams into juvenile groups is to measure the current strength and future potential strength of the village. The village leader nodded. Yes, you are the future of the Heavenly Water Village. As long as you don't leave the Blue Sea Town, you may often participate in such resource competitions in the future. Immediately, the group of youths became excited. This was the first time they were participating in a major event in the village. After participating in the resource competition, no one could treat them as children anymore. This was a good opportunity to measure the so-called geniuses of other villages. At noon, Han Fei led a group of fishing masters to his family's hot pot restaurant. He Xiaoyu was so engrossed in eating that she didn't even have the mood to talk. It was needless to mention the others. He Xiaoyu often had barbecue. The others couldn't even afford barbecue before, so they rarely ate it. Xia Wushuang asked, Han Fei, how strong are you now? Han Fei rolled his eyes. Do you want me to tell you that I've reached the peak? An intermediate fishing master. Han Fei said with a smile. Hiss, He Xiaoyu complained, I'm just a junior fishing master. Wang Baiyu said, it seems that although Brother Han is in the village, his strength is not lagging behind at all. Just as so. It's not as good as you in the town. Han Fei was about to ask why, when he heard Xiao Dabai's loud voice from the next table, "Boy Han, that's because you haven't been to the town. Do you think there are no geniuses in the town? It's their first time there. It's already good enough that they are not beaten to death by others." Han Fei looked at the others and looked puzzled. He Xiaoyu said, "Some people are too much. They bully us from the village. Humph. Most of them are local children in the town, and there are also people from the Heavenly Moon, Heavenly Sun, and Heavenly Heart villages. They are also very arrogant and often bully others." Han Fei asked, "So you are often beaten?" He Xiaoyu bared her teeth. "What do you mean beaten? It's a conflict." Han Fei asked, "So, did you win or lose?" Everyone, Han Fei knew that this reaction meant that they had lost. He immediately slapped the table and said, "When I go there, I'll get back at you." Hu Kuan, who had been silent, snorted. "Do you think you can win as an intermediate fishing master? Do you know that their strongest students are already great fishing masters?" Xia Wushuang nodded. "Yes, it is said that the top 10 students of the 3 academies in the town have basically become advanced great fishing masters or even peak-level great fishing masters. They are really talented." Han Fei's eyelids twitched. "So powerful?" Han Fei secretly took a breath. A peak-level great fishing master at the same age as him is a bit strong. Wang Baiyu eased the atmosphere. "In fact, you don't have to worry too much. In the 8 villages we know, no one has become a great fishing master yet. At most, they are half-step great fishing masters." Xia Wushuang interrupted, "No. You forgot one person. The guy from the Heavenly Heart village became a great fishing master the day before yesterday." Everyone was stunned, and the people at the table next to Xiao Dabai also sighed. Are young people nowadays so strong? He is only a few years old but he has already become a great fishing master. How can these veteran fishing masters accept this? Wang Baiyu explained, "This time we are acting jointly, so there is no competitive relationship between us. Let's think about how to catch rare spiritual fish." He Xiaoyu suggested, "Use special bait. I heard that the locals in the town don't use green bait." Xiang Nan added, "Special bait are very rare. Marching sea leeches, shrimp pearls, and golden nematodes are very difficult to find. I'm afraid we can't afford high-quality pearls, so we can only fish with our own spiritual energy, but this consumes a lot of spiritual energy." Han Fei blinked. "Didn't you learn the profession of spirit gatherer in the town?" Wang Baiyu, I remember that you have also learned the spirit gathering art, right? Wang Baiyu smiled bitterly. So what? I haven't even learned it yet. How can I give spiritual energy to others? Ha ha ha, dozens of people at the next table laughed. Wang Baiyu said with a black face, spirit gatherer and manipulator are the 2 most difficult professions among the 5 major professions. What's so funny about me? Chen Ling giggled. Then why don't you ask Han Fei? He has already become a spirit gatherer. What? Everyone at Han Fei's table was shocked, even Hu Kuan's eyes widened. He Xiaoyu asked, have you become a spirit gatherer? Han Fei said, don't be excited. Just eat. Everyone, Wang Baiyu asked, Han Fei, have you learned the spirit gathering art so quickly? He Xiaoyu's eyes also flickered and no one knew what she was thinking. Han Fei suddenly felt a sense of satisfaction. Ha, isn't it awesome? Marvel. Be shocked. I like to see you look like you've never seen the world before. Xia Wushuang's eyes lit up. Then we don't have to worry about the bait. We can use spiritual energy as bait. Xiang Nan nodded. I have no objection to this, Captain. Hu Kuan was dumbfounded. No way. Han Fei had learned the spirit gathering art. Wasn't this a joke? After so many years, how could he not know whether Han Fei was a genius or not? Han Fei waved his hand. No problem. You can have as much spiritual energy as you want. After dinner, He Xiaoyu and the others rarely came back. At this moment, they all went home to see their parents, but Han Fei had no one to see him, so he stayed in the fish dragons and called Li Gang, Li Qing, and Li Gan to play cards. Li Gan muttered, 3. 3 with 2. Li Qing added, bigger than you. Li Gang added, bomb. Han Fei looked at the cards in his hand and said helplessly, I can't afford it. After a few rounds, Han Fei asked in boredom, Gang Zi, do you think the town is good? Han Fei was a little surprised today because he saw that everyone seemed to have changed. Even though Hu Kun was still full of hostility to him, his temperament had changed. He Xiaoyu also changed. She used to be a silly girl, but this time she came back, she was full of mischief. Only when the environment changed greatly would people think of all kinds of evil ideas. Li Gang said, young master, we have never been to the town. But I think it should be good. Otherwise, why are there no great fishing masters in our village? Li Gan added, yes. I have been there. Once. Very shocking. Han Fei was about to ask Li Gan, but on second thought, he might have fallen asleep by the time Li Gan finished speaking. Han Fei threw away the cards. 3, one more. You can find someone to play with. I'm going out. He Xiaoyu's home. He Mingtang glanced at Han Fei and said with a look of disgust, Han Fei, why haven't you lost weight yet? Han Fei. He Mingtang scoffed, you can't take Xiaoyu out for a walk. Han Fei's face was all black. What do you mean? What do you mean? Read 2. Chapter 122. Han Fei. The sound of someone going down the stairs came over, and He Xiaoyu rushed down happily. He Xiaoyu, I came to ask you about the situation in the town. Didn't you say you wouldn't go to the town? I still have to go. I guess I'll be back soon. At this time, He Xiaoyu's mother came out. Oh, Han Fei is here. Old He, why do you keep your daughter outside? He Mingtang looked unhappy. I'm afraid that this boy will abduct my daughter. He Xiaoyu blushed. Dad, what are you talking about? Mr. He, I won't abduct her. Can I stay at your house? Humph. He Xiaoyu stood on the stairs and shouted, come and play fish dragon cards with me. How did you come up with such a fun game? No, I won't, He Xiaoyu said, come and play. Dad, Mom. Come and play cards. We don't lack people. Surprisingly, He Mingtang and He Xiaoyu's mother didn't object. As soon as they heard their daughter's call, they both came to the table. Han Fei asked, so you're short of one? So Han Fei, you can come here often to play. We're going to be a family. You can have a deck of cards. He Xiaoyu blushed. Mom. What are you talking about? Mrs. He smiled and didn't speak. He Mingtang asked, you want to ask Xiaoyu about the town? Why? Do you want to go to the town? Han Fei replied, yes, I'm thinking about it. A pair of 3s? Why didn't you go? A pair of 5s. I didn't have time at that time. It was better to stay in the village, where I had more freedom. He Xiaoyu added, a pair of 8s, but we've all become fishing masters since we went to the town. Our speed is much faster than in the village. Mrs. He scoffed, faster? Don't brag. You've made a breakthrough so fast, but you still can't catch up with Han Fei. During this time, Han Fei has been living in seclusion. Do you think you haven't done anything? He Mingtang shrugged. No, it's not suitable for you to go to the town now. The schools in the town haven't started to enroll students. You refused to go before. It's not good for you to go now. A pair of 2s. I heard that there is a 4th academy in the town. Do you know He Xiaoyu? He Xiaoyu replied, no. Wow, you want to go to the 4th Academy? Don't go there. There aren't many students in that school. It's very run down. Han Fei was deep in thought. Old Jiang told him that if he wanted to go to the town, he should go to the 4th Academy. Han Fei thought that the school recommended by the old man must be reliable, but why did He Xiaoyu sound so unreliable? After a round, He Xiaoyu muttered, let's wait for next year. Go to our school. There are a lot of geniuses there, and many of them have exotic spiritual beasts, and the 5 professions are not uncommon. If you don't want to go, I'll go to the 4th Academy. I'll beat the other 3 academies. He Xiaoyu chuckled. After dinner at He Xiaoyu's house, Han Fei learned a lot of things. It turned out that rare spiritual fish could be bought in the market in the town. It turned out that the 5 classes were not rare. It turned out that they would not come to the village. It turned out that there were many different fishing techniques. The next day, everyone gathered at the village leader's house. There were 38 junior fishing masters, 63 intermediate fishing masters, 32 advanced fishing masters, 8 peak-level fishing masters, and none great fishing masters. There were only 14 people in the juvenile group Han Fei was in. Most of them hadn't become fishing masters yet and were still studying in the town. Among these 14 people, only Xia Wushuang was an intermediate fishing master, and even Wang Baiyu was only a junior peak-level fishing master. The village leader said, Han Fei, the juvenile group you lead will compete with the juvenile groups of other villages, but don't underestimate those people. They are basically from the town, and some of them may be spirit gatherers. Han Fei asked, Leader, can we beat them? If we beat them all, won't we win? The village leader rolled his eyes. Not in the first 2 games. The mayor is in the sky. Unless you compete for the same item, you can't beat them. If you want to fight, save it for the 3rd game. Let's go. In an instant, more than 30 fishing boats flew across the sky and left quickly. Among them, a white fishing boat was the most conspicuous. At this moment, many people in the Heavenly Water Village looked up. Someone murmured, I hope we can get a higher ranking this time. Our village gets too little spirit awakening fluid every year. Someone sighed. What can we do? The Heavenly Heart, Heavenly Moon, and Heavenly Sun villages occupy good positions. It's hard to beat them. Someone said solemnly, I just hope not so many people die this time. There were a total of 4 people on Han Fei's fishing boat, himself, Wang Baiyu, Xia Wushuang, and He Xiaoyu. And the other 10 people were on the other 2 fishing boats. Xia Wushuang asked, Wang Baiyu, are the weapons ready? Wang Baiyu nodded. Don't worry, I've already prepared them. Han Fei asked curiously, what's in your box? Wang Baiyu smiled. Some auxiliary fishing weapons. After all, rare spiritual fish are not easy to catch. Once they come out of the water, we must strike them with a thunderous blow. Han Fei asked, He Xiaoyu, what abilities does Little Red have? He Xiaoyu replied, her tracking ability is very strong, and her combat ability is also very strong. Once she is hooked, it's not a problem to entangle the rare spiritual fish. Han Fei looked at Xia Wushuang. Xia Wushuang explained, my spiritual beast is a human-faced crab, which has the ability to create illusions. Han Fei was stunned. Is there such a crab? Xia Wushuang replied, it's an exotic species. It can't fight with it. Han Fei thought for a while. Do you know what rare spiritual fish like best? He Xiaoyu replied, I know. Linnet likes to eat food that is full of spiritual energy and fish brains. Wang Baiyu added, all spiritual creatures like things full of spiritual energy, so Han Fei, your identity as a spirit gatherer is a very powerful help. In the center of the level 1 fishery, nearly 600 fishing boats were floating on the water. Han Fei was stunned. Why are there so many fishing boats? There are less than 50 fishing boats in our village, right? He Xiaoyu replied, what can we do? Because there are many fishing masters in the village. This wasn't a fair competition to begin with. 8 villages and 16 fishing boats were meeting. Han Fei was the captain of the juvenile team of the Heavenly Water Village, so he also needed to go to meet the other captains. Han Fei was not familiar with the captain of the adult team. He only knew that his name was Qin Hai, a peak-level great fishing master. Qin Hai, are you still alive? The captain of the Heavenly Sun Village said with a smile. Qin Hai replied, I won't die even if you die. The captain of the Heavenly Wood Village scoffed, Old Qin, you won't beat me this time. Qin Hai scoffed, sit tight as the last place in 10,000 years. The captain of the Heavenly Moon Village was a woman. She snorted proudly, a third from the bottom is laughing at others who are last. Interesting. The captain of the Heavenly Wood Village scoffed, Zhang Yu, don't be so disgusting. Hey! Fatty, are you the captain of the juvenile team of the Heavenly Water Village? You are so fat. Can you swim in the water? Han Fei was watching the great fishing masters quarreling with each other with great interest. Suddenly hearing someone scolding him, he immediately turned his head. Again from the Heavenly Sun Village? Han Fei chuckled. When I first came to the level 1 fishery, I killed 2 fishing masters from the Heavenly Sun Village. Oh. At that time, did your Heavenly Sun Village lose 8 or 9 people? The boy from the Heavenly Sun Village snorted coldly. I hope you can survive to the 3rd round. At that time, I will cut off your fat body. A sturdy boy from the Heavenly Fire Village looked at Han Fei coldly. Fatty, I heard from Ding Yu that you robbed 3 fishing boats from us. Come and try to rob us again. Han Fei asked, which Ding Yu? I don't know him, but look at your poor face. What's there for me to rob? You're arrogant. Let's see who's better. The captain of the juvenile team of the Heavenly Heart Village was a girl. She looked at Han Fei. You're really ugly. Han Fei said, Miss, it's your fault to judge a book by its cover. I was very handsome before I became fat, right He Xiaoyu? He Xiaoyu was stunned. Are you handsome? Why don't I feel it? But I can't be too arrogant at this time, so I immediately said, yes. I'm much better looking than you ugly people. Han Fei, Wang Baiyu, Xia Wushuang, they were speechless. He Xiaoyu, you've offended 7 villages with just a few words. Read 2. Chapter 123. This kind of meeting was full of dirty words and hatred. Han Fei felt that his side had already offended the other side. Of course, it didn't matter. Anyway, if they dared to provoke him, he would just beat them to the ground. Wang Baiyu explained, the woman from the Heavenly Heart Village is called Fang Qing. It is said that she is a peak-level fishing master, and some people say that she has become a great fishing master, but I don't know the details. Her spiritual beast is a green snake eel. The captain of the Heavenly Sun Village is called Gu Longyu, from the combat department of the 2nd Academy. It is said that he is a soul warrior and his spiritual beast is a dragon-head fish. His strength is unknown. Have you seen them in the town? Xia Wushuang nodded. Yes, but only these people are famous. The only one who is slightly famous is the weak-looking girl from the Heavenly Wood Village. Her name is Miao Mumu, a manipulator. Han Fei suddenly said, do you think there are hunters and armorists on their side? Wang Baiyu shrugged, I don't know. There should be. Han Fei looked back. All 5 classes are missing 1 hunter, so let's assume that there is a hunter among them. On the other side, the villagers were discussing on their way back. The captain of the Heavenly Fire Village said, it's strange. The captain of the Heavenly Water Village is neither Wang Baiyu nor Xia Wushuang, but a fatty. Be careful, this fatty is weird. Heavenly Heart Village. If we have a conflict with the Heavenly Water Village, avoid that fatty. There is absolutely no such person in the 3 academies in the town, but this person can suppress Wang Baiyu and Xia Wushuang. We have to be careful. It was the same for the other villages. Everyone came back from the town and knew each other, so when they first saw Han Fei, they all felt strange and then became vigilant. When they came back, 8 fishing boats were flying in the sky, and the village leaders were standing on the bows. In front of them, there was another person, who was said to be the mayor of the Blue Sea town. With wings on his back, he turned out to be a hidden fisher, at the same level as Fang Zhe. The mayor said flatly, "The competition will end at this time tomorrow. Fishing masters will be ranked according to the number of rare spiritual fish they get. Now I announce that the competition officially begins." For a time, many fishing boats floated in the air. Han Fei also drove the fishing boat away. In the end, he asked Qin Hai, "Together?" Qin Hai replied, "No, you guys can leave on your own. Our side is much more dangerous than yours." During the 2 days of the resource competition, no one was allowed to enter the level 1 fishery, so this 1,000-kilometer sea area seemed particularly vast. The 3 fishing boats randomly found a place to land, and Han Fei said to the other 2 fishing boats, "If you run out of spiritual energy, come to me to replenish it." Needless to say, He Xiaoyu's forehead flashed, and the little red sparrow appeared. He Xiaoyu said, "Little Red, I'm counting on you to track the rare spiritual fish." The 4 of them then took out their fishing rods and started fishing. He Xiaoyu, the fishing depth is 10 meters. Xia Wushuang, 30 meters deep. Wang Baiyu, 50 meters. Everyone looked at Han Fei and He Xiaoyu asked, "How many meters are you?" Han Fei grinned. "To the end." None of them used bait but compressed their spiritual energy into balls and concentrated them on the hooks. Very soon, He Xiaoyu's fishing pole moved first. As she retracted her fishing pole, a cold light pierced at them. He Xiaoyu seemed to be prepared. She waved her bamboo stick and slapped the swordfish into the sea. He Xiaoyu exclaimed, "Swordfish! Don't we take them back?" Han Fei said, "You can have as many ordinary swordfish as you want. Now it's a competition. We only need to store rare spiritual fish in our fish cabins." Suddenly, Wang Baiyu's expression changed, which surprised everyone. Wang Baiyu's fishing depth was 50 meters, which was actually very dangerous. What would he catch? Come, everyone only saw a prawn with a huge head breaking out of the water, with a row of spikes on its head. Name a big head prawn. Level 17 Equality Regular. Contains spiritual energy greater than 120 points. Edible effect. Long-term consumption can increase human vitality. Collectible spiritual spike. Han Fei said, "Big head prawn, an ordinary shrimp." Wang Baiyu grabbed the box next to him, patted the box, and a hammer-shaped weapon appeared. Clang! The big head prawn was hammered into the water. Han Fei immediately said, "Xia Wushuang, the fishing depth is 50 meters. Activate the illusion and simulate the spiritual energy into a rare spiritual shrimp. It must not exceed the size of a forearm." Xia Wushuang was stunned and quickly did as he was told, saying, "Not enough spiritual energy." Han Fei pointed his finger and a column of spiritual energy rushed straight into Xia Wushuang's body. After only half an hour, Xia Wushuang's eyes flashed. "Got it." As Xia Wushuang retracted the rod, a long conch half a meter in size appeared, and a strange sound floated out of its shell, which was very pleasant to hear. Wang Baiyu was surprised. Singing conch, a rare spiritual snail. Han Fei also saw it, and the data in front of his eyes was clear. Name a singing conch. When it is introduced, it will sing to attract fish. When attacking, dozens of scimitars will pop out of the shell and cut the opponent to death. Level A17 Equality Rare. Contains spiritual energy greater than 120 points. Edible effect. Long-term consumption can beautify skin. Collectible singing conch shell. Xia Wushuang shouted, "Wang Baiyu, shield." Wang Baiyu patted the box again, and in an instant, a huge turtle shield blocked in front of Xia Wushuang. The scimitars hit the turtle shield, making clanging sounds. At the moment when the sound was almost over, Wang Baiyu shot a hook-shaped weapon straight at the singing conch and hooked it back. He Xiaoyu exclaimed, "Wow! It's really a singing conch. I want it." The singing conch powder is very expensive in the town. Han Fei wondered, what is singing conch powder? Xia Wushuang smiled helplessly. It's used to wipe the face. Girls from rich families in the town always like to buy singing conch powder to wipe their face. The corner of Han Fei's mouth twitched. Is there even cosmetics here? Did they catch a bunch of cosmetics by cooperating with each other? He Xiaoyu was so happy. Not far away, Xiang Nan said in surprise, did they catch the first rare face so soon? It's a singing conch. Jia Tong added, I know. It's very valuable. It is said that a small bottle of singing conch powder costs dozens of mid-quality pearls, and it can't be bought even if you have money. On the white fishing boat. Xia Wushuang looked at Han Fei strangely. Han Fei, why did you ask me to dive 50 meters after you caught the big-headed shrimp? Han Fei replied, it's not hard to guess. Maybe the big-headed shrimp, a creature with strong chewiness, chased after the singing conch. It bit Wang Baiyu's hook because it couldn't catch the singing conch. Wow! Is that so? Han Fei changed the topic. This is called experience. You won't understand. Han Fei asked, Wang Baiyu, what's wrong with your box? Where did you get such a big shield? Wang Baiyu said lightly, it's an armorist's unique talent, a space box, but it can only store weapons and will reject other things. Han Fei raised his eyebrows. Interesting, it also has its own space. Suddenly, He Xiaoyu pointed at Han Fei's fishing rod and said, Han Fei, it's hooked. Han Fei glanced at it and said casually, don't worry. He Xiaoyu asked, it's already hooked. Why don't you worry? It doesn't feel like a rare spiritual fish. I'll let it swim for a while. Everyone. Han Fei was different from them. One of the 3 skills attached to the second level of void fishing was the winding snake technique, which simulated the movement of fish on the bottom of the sea with spiritual energy. However, He Xiaoyu and the others didn't know that Han Fei was actually fishing. There were not only rare spiritual fish on the bottom of the sea, but also a large number of ordinary fish. Han Fei naturally wouldn't let ordinary fish bite the bait, so he kept fishing. Suddenly, Han Fei felt that he was hooked. He froze for a moment and then suddenly pulled the rod. Wang Baiyu, shield. Wang Baiyu was stunned. I haven't even started fishing for the second time and you want my shield again? Wang Baiyu immediately raised his shield to block in front of Han Fei, and the next moment, a swift squid was pulled into the sky. Wang Baiyu muttered, shit, Xia Wushuang shouted, He Xiaoyu, get down. Pooh, half a minute later, Wang Baiyu's face was all black. You didn't even tell me anything and just asked me for a shield. I gave you my fucking shield, but my face was covered with black ink. Han Fei scratched his belly awkwardly. Well, I didn't expect it to be a swift squid. Wang Baiyu looked serious. It seems that I should prepare 2 shields next time. He Xiaoyu said, we're so fast. We've already caught 2 rare fays. On the other 2 boats, Xiang Nan and Jia Tong were speechless. Is this luck? How long has it been since the singing snail was hooked? 30 seconds. Half a day later, Han Fei caught a total of 4 rare fays. The other 2 boats caught a total of 1, which Han Fei deliberately lured over with the winding snake technique. Han Fei complained in his heart. It's better to catch them in the water. He had fed the 9-tailed mantis shrimp hundreds of rare creatures in the past 100 years. He knew how to catch rare creatures very well. He Xiaoyu asked, there are no rare spiritual fish in the past 2 hours. Should we go somewhere else? Han Fei nodded. Okay. Just when they were about to retract their fishing rods, Han Fei suddenly frowned. Wait a minute. Han Fei vaguely saw a lightning crab pinch He Xiaoyu's fishing line. He thought it was just a coincidence and was about to catch this lightning crab. But then the lightning crab turned around and pinched Xia Wushuang's fishing line. Spiritual Beast, Read 2. Chapter 124. Han Fei's face changed immediately and he shouted to the others in a low voice, "Attack with all your strength." Before Wang Baiyu and the others knew what was going on, Han Fei's hands suddenly flashed and he used instant hook and thousand twining at the same time. Although the lightning crab was famous for its speed, it was still tied up like a dumpling in an instant. On the sea, Wang Baiyu and the other two only felt dizzy and then a lightning crab that was tied up flew up. Han Fei held the purple bamboo rod and launched a spiritual energy explosion skill. The other three didn't know what Han Fei was doing. Shouldn't lightning crabs be rare crabs? Why did he want to kill them? But although they were puzzled, they still took action immediately. Wang Baiyu patted his armor box and a knife and a sword flew out. He Xiaoyu also launched a spiritual energy explosion skill at the crab. Xia Wushuang hit it with a sledgehammer. Facing the full blow of the four fishing masters, with a crack, the lightning crab's carapace was broken, and one of its pincers and three of its legs were hammered off. Just at this moment, the lightning crab turned into a phantom and disappeared. The others all frowned. Spiritual beast? Han Fei muttered, "Is it really so difficult to kill a spiritual beast? 4 people's full blow only injured it. I'm afraid it will recover in a year and a half." Xia Wushuang asked, "Are we being targeted?" Wang Baiyu said, "Let's go. Anyway, we seem to have caught all the rare spiritual fish here." Just as Han Fei and the others attacked the lightning crab, dozens of kilometers away, someone screamed and then vomited blood. He was seriously injured. If Han Fei and the others were here, they would definitely recognize this fishing boat of the Heavenly Sun Village. "Lu Junyu, what happened?" The seriously injured boy was still vomiting blood. "My spiritual beast was almost killed." Gu Longyu, the captain of the Heavenly Sun Village, frowned. How could it be killed? Even if the spiritual beast was dozens of kilometers away, the owner could forcibly take it back with a thought. But the other side almost killed Lu Junyu's spiritual beast, which meant that the other side's reaction speed was extremely fast and they attacked Lu Junyu's spiritual beast almost instantly. Someone asked, "Longyu, are we still going to the Heavenly Water Village?" Gu Longyu replied, "Not for the time being. The first round is not a free-for-all, and the spiritual beast was injured by them even underwater, which shows that the other side has very special attack methods. We will just waste time if we go." Gu Longyu wasn't going to make trouble for Han Fei, but it didn't mean that Han Fei wouldn't make trouble for them. With a flick of his eyebrows, Little Black and Little White came out. In the past half a year, whenever Han Fei and Jiang Qin fought at the bottom of the sea, Little Black, Little White, and the 9-tailed mantis shrimp were always in a free-range state. At this moment, he was already at level 13. On average, he leveled up 1 level a month. This speed was not fast, but it was not slow either. The key was that Xiao Hei's attack power was strong. At this moment, Han Fei quietly let Little Black follow him. "If you want to bite my fishing line, let's bite each other and hurt each other." When the 3 boats on Han Fei's side gathered, everybody found that everybody's fishing line had been bitten off except for Wang Baiyu and Han Fei. Jia Tong was furious. "Damn it, they must be nearby." Chen Qing said, "Fight our way to their doorstep." Xiang Nan said, "No, it will only delay us. Everyone should have spare fishing hooks and fishing lines. Let's use them first." Hu Kun asked, "What if they play this trick again?" Xia Wushuang said, "No, that person's lightning crab is dying. I don't think he dares to come again." Han Fei said, "In fact, it's not impossible. If they don't have a spirit gatherer in their team, then it should be easier for us to compete with them for rare spiritual fish, right?" Everyone immediately looked at Han Fei with a weird expression. What he said made a lot of sense. They didn't have a spirit gatherer. Otherwise, they wouldn't have sent people to destroy their fishing rods. He Xiaoyu said, "I found them. I found their tracks. They are about 30 miles to the west of us." Han Fei pretended to have just found them and waved his hand. "Let's go and get them." After a moment, 10 miles away from the fishing boats of the Heavenly Sun Village, Han Fei and the others stopped. Han Fei said, "Continue fishing. I don't believe that we can't attract their spiritual energy with so much spiritual energy." Han Fei pointed his fingers and added some spiritual energy to everyone's body. Suddenly, 14 spiritual energy light balls appeared underwater. Han Fei shouted, "Everyone is responsible for a depth, from shallow to deep according to their strength." On the other side, Gu Longyu and the others were fishing. Suddenly, they felt that the fishing rod was light. They pulled it up and found that the hook was gone. Gu Longyu shouted, "Everyone, retract the rod." However, everyone was shocked to find that their hook was gone. Not only was the hook gone, but also their spiritual energy. Under the water, Little Black and Little White were entangled and seemed to be waiting for the hook to fall again. On the sea. "Damn, we're being watched. Look, the other party must be nearby." Xia Wushuang shouted, "Han Fei, give me spiritual energy." "It's not enough." Han Fei asked, "Do you feel it?" Xia Wushuang replied, "Definitely. Something is crazily absorbing spiritual energy." As Xia Wushuang roared, all his muscles tightened. Xia Wushuang continued, "I feel that I've caught a big thing. This thing is too heavy." Han Fei asked, "It's either a turtle or a crab. What do you think?" Xia Wushuang nodded. "Crab." During the conversation, a big crab more than 2 meters long climbed up. When this thing saw them, it looked around blankly as if saying, "Where's my spiritual energy?" Xia Wushuang exclaimed, "Damn, a sapphire crab." Wang Baiyu's face changed. "Xia Wushuang, be careful. This thing is going to waste one of my shields." Sapphire crab, a small number of mutant big green crabs in the level 1 fishery. After mutation, their pincers seemed to have become drills, which could drill through fishing boats. Of course, although they had strong attack power, they were very stupid, reckless, and easily angry, so some people called them hotheads. Wang Baiyu raised his shield to block, but with a clang, Wang Baiyu was sent flying. He Xiaoyu raised her rod and slashed hard, but was blocked by the drill-like pincers of the crab. She lost her balance and fell directly on the deck. Xia Wushuang's eyes flashed. "Illusion. You can't see me. You can't see me." Han Fei was speechless. He wanted to kick Xia Wushuang into the sea. "You used an illusion to hide me from you. But now this guy is staring at me. What? Do you want to hit me with your big pincers?" Han Fei was not stupid. He retracted the fishing rod, a mass of spiritual energy appeared on the hook, and he put the hook on the hothead's head. The sapphire crab stared at the spiritual energy and was about to catch it. Han Fei led the fishing rod and the sapphire crab circled back and forth. Han Fei was humming, "Circle, circle, 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 circle above my head." Sure enough, this hothead circled back and forth from time to time, and in the end, it was dizzy. Han Fei retracted the fishing rod and it was still circling there. Xia Wushuang was dumbfounded. "Seriously? It's done so easily." Wang Baiyu looked at the hole on his big shield and was speechless. "Han Fei, why didn't you tell me earlier? Is it easy for me to find a shield? Don't you know he's reckless? You're reckless, too." Smart people rely on their wisdom. Swish, 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 just as they were joking around, a young man from the south side caught a ball fish and came up. "Shit. Throw it away. Get down." A round of spikes sprayed, and at least 4 people on the south boat were stabbed. And the student who caught the ball fish reacted quickly. He immediately protected his body with spiritual energy, but he was still shot full of holes. Fortunately, he protected the main part of his body, so he was still alive. Han Fei sailed over, threw a stream of spiritual energy to each of them, and looked at the student who was covered with spikes. "From now on, he will rest, and the others will continue." Han Fei was about to leave when he suddenly looked up. Hey! Hey, do you want to come down? Do you guys need money for your spiritual energy? Why are you always flying like this? From the Sun Village. I just felt that there was something wrong with this ball fish. No matter how strong Lil Bei is, he should be able to recognize the ball fish. It must be them. Dozens of meters away, 7 fishing boats landed. Gu Longyu said, "Fatty, not bad. You found us. But since you destroyed our fishing rods, do you think you can still fish safely?" Read 2. Chapter 125. On the Heavenly Water Village's side, all 3 fishing boats had come. After all, the Heavenly Sun Village had 7 fishing boats and twice as many people as the Heavenly Water Village, which put tremendous pressure on them. Gu Longyu asked, "Fatty, do you know that once there is a conflict between the 2 sides, it can be solved by fighting?" "Sorry, what are you talking about?" "Referee, where's the referee? Someone started a fight for no reason. Quick, come and punish him." Everyone looked at Han Fei. Is this really okay? He refused to admit it no matter what. It seemed like he was a little useless. Gu Longyu's face was cold. "Fatty, do you think we don't know that you cut our fishing line?" "Han Fei, I'm sorry, but which eye of yours saw us cutting your fishing line?" "Young man, don't talk nonsense. Where's the evidence?" Gu Longyu really wanted to hit Han Fei's head with a stick, but he really had no evidence. Someone must have noticed them at this moment, but he couldn't hit them. He was very angry. Gu Longyu sneered. "Good. Since that's the case, I won't make things difficult for you. It just so happens that I'm also interested in this place. Don't you want to fish? Go ahead and fish. Everyone, fish where you are." Han Fei smiled. "Then let's go fishing. Let's drag it out, come on. We're hurting each other." He Xiaoyu tugged at Han Fei's arm. "Really? You can't catch anything with so many people. We have unlimited spiritual energy. Why should we be afraid of them? Let's fish here." In the distant sky. The village leader of the Heavenly Sun Village said to the village leader of the Heavenly Water Village, "Old Zhao. Is your village's youth team leader so tough?" The village chief replied, "It's all right. I feel that your Heavenly Sun Village is more unyielding. I'm afraid they will regret it." "Regret? I really can't think of how they will regret it when they are outnumbered twice by the enemy." They continued fishing. The fishing rod in Han Fei's hand kept moving, and the fishing line kept swaying. He was fishing again. "He Xiaoyu, where is your little red? My little white wants to play with it." He Xiaoyu. He Xiaoyu was speechless. "Han Fei, is your spiritual beast just for fun?" "Yes, it often goes out to sea with me to bask in the sun." "Quick, let Linnet come out." He Xiaoyu was confused. "My lovely little red has become a playmate?" Han Fei sang happily, "Hey, young man, please don't fish me. Or I'll spit at you. Don't think I'll be at a loss when you use spiritual energy as bait. I can see that you're a fisherman." Everyone looked at him again. Why was he singing? Even if you can sing, why are you singing from the perspective of a fish? He Xiaoyu exclaimed, "Wow! Was this a fisherman's song? My father said that there are very few people who can sing fishing songs." "This is called RA," He Xiaoyu asked, "What?" Han Fei suddenly pointed at the water. "Hey, hey! He Xiaoyu, your little red bit a rare spiritual fish." The next moment, Linnet's tiny body flew onto the ship with a pearl fish several times larger than her. Everyone, Xia Wushuang and the others were dumbfounded. "Really?" Gu Longyu cursed inwardly, "Damn it, why are they so lucky? His spiritual beast catches rare spiritual fish. If we could catch it, we would have sent out our spiritual beasts. Why are we still fishing?" He Xiaoyu was overjoyed. Wow! Little Red is amazing. It's my Little White who can bring good luck. He Xiaoyu scoffed, nonsense, it's Little Red who is amazing. My Little White is lucky. If you don't believe me, let Little Red go out to play with Little White. Gu Longyu sneered. Oh, fatty, do you think Sea God will automatically send rare spiritual fish to your mouth? Are you crazy? Han Fei didn't answer but continued to RA, I can see that you're a fisherman at a glance. Especially that fool from the Heavenly Sun Village. How dare he try to catch me when his hook is gone? Han Fei became the focus of everyone's attention again. Gu Longyu's face darkened and he suddenly lifted the fishing rod, only to find that the hook was really gone and there was only half of the line left. Gu Longyu said, Fatty, what else do you have to say this time? How do you know my hook is gone? Hey, you're really interesting. Your fishing line is loose. Are you blind? Gu Longyu's face changed drastically. Wait, where did the spiritual energy on my fishing line go? As soon as the fishing line moved, the spiritual energy would be transmitted to his hands, but now there was no spiritual energy on his fishing line. Gu Longyu's eyes were red and he looked at Han Fei. Did you do this? Han Fei said, don't frame me. I'll tell the referee. How dare you frame me? How can you be the captain? Then Han Fei pointed to the water. Hey, hey! He Xiaoyu, your Little Red caught another fish. With that, Little Red floated up again, biting a starfish in her mouth. The point was that this starfish was blue when it came out of the water, but it turned pale gold when it came out of the water. When it was thrown on the boat, it turned into the color of wood. He Xiaoyu asked, is this color-changing starfish? Immediately, He Xiaoyu stroked Little Red's little head. Good job, Little Red. Go catch more. Han Fei rolled his eyes. Go catch more. Do you think there are so many rare spiritual fish waiting for your Little Red to catch? At this time, no matter how stupid the people of the Heavenly Sun Village were, they knew something was wrong. It was obvious that they had a simpler way of fishing rare creatures. Gu Longyu's face changed again and he said to everyone, retract the rod and change places. Han Fei immediately shouted, everyone, retract the rod and follow me. Gu Longyu staggered. Why are you following us when we change places? Han Fei rubbed his belly and said cutely, I think I'm lucky to follow you. He Xiaoyu, what do you think? He Xiaoyu nodded. Maybe, just a little. Half an hour later. Gu Longyu roared at Han Fei angrily, Fatty, if you don't want to be killed in the third game, you'd better keep following us. Han Fei said, keep following us. Gu Longyu, let's see how long you can keep flying. An hour later, someone from the Heavenly Sun Village ran out of spiritual energy. Gu Longyu was overjoyed when he saw that the people of the Heavenly Water Village were all pale. He said to the others, let's change them. Hold on for a while. They are dying. But just as Gu Longyu said this, he saw Han Fei point his finger and a column of spiritual energy rushed into the body of Xiang Nan. Puff. A spirit gatherer. Gu Longyu felt as if 10,000 iron-head fish were galloping through his heart. Who the hell is this fatty? Why is he a spirit gatherer? Can there be a spirit gatherer in the village? Gu Longyu waved his hand and everyone landed. Han Fei and the others also landed. Xia Wushuang laughed. Hey, guys from the Heavenly Sun Village, why don't you fly? Gu Longyu looked at the sky. Time didn't allow them to waste time with Han Fei. They had to hurry up and fish. Gu Longyu ordered, everyone, fish where you are and release your spiritual beasts to guard the hooks. After a moment. Boss, my hook is gone. Didn't I tell you to use your spiritual beast to guard it? The man said aggrievedly, I did. But it's gone. Boss, mine is gone too. Brother Gu, mine is gone too. Gu Longyu immediately picked up his fishing rod and looked at the bare fishing line. He wanted to roll up his sleeves and fight with Han Fei. Han Fei pointed to the sky. Asshole, don't frame us. We just came here to freeload. If you dare to fight, you'll be the last one. With that, Xiang Nan suddenly took out a pearl fish from the water and said with a smile, "We're really lucky to follow the Heavenly Sun Village." Xia Wushuang caught another fish in his illusion. After a while, a swift squid was brought up. Although his face was sprayed with ink, he still smiled. "Not bad, our luck has indeed improved." Gu Longyu warned, "I warn you, don't follow us. Otherwise, I'll kill all of you even if I can't get a ranking in this game." Han Fei smiled and didn't speak. He looked up at the sky. It was getting late. It was completely dark. "Little Black, go and eat all the rare creatures in their fish cabins." After a moment, Han Fei suddenly said, "You guys go. We also have to fish. It seems that your luck has been used up." Gu Longyu asked, "Don't you want to follow us?" Han Fei replied, "I don't want to talk to a fool." Gu Longyu and the others left, walking quickly. Xiang Nan asked, "Han Fei, don't you want to follow us?" Xia Wushuang replied, "Just follow us. They dare not do anything to us." He Xiaoyu agreed, "Yes. With them, my little red will be very powerful." Everyone looked at He Xiaoyu speechlessly. "Girl, how brave are you? Don't you know whether your little red has caught any fish or not?" Read 2. Chapter 126. The night passed quietly. Han Fei didn't use his special ability to help this team. In fact, even if he used it, he might not be able to catch so many rare creatures. Instead, Han Fei was thinking about how to keep all these rare creatures here. His nine-tailed mantis shrimp was still far from its complete form. After feeding hundreds of rare creatures, the nine-tailed mantis shrimp had only been upgraded from the previous 3 tails to 6. He estimated that if he wanted to refine the nine-tailed mantis shrimp into its complete form, he would need at least 100 rare creatures. In the morning, everyone gathered in the center of the level 1 fishery. Gu Longyu was furious when he saw Han Fei. He pointed at Han Fei and said, "Fatty, don't let me meet you in the 3rd round, or I will beat you to death." Han Fei scratched his belly and tried to look frightened. "Oh, I'm so scared. I didn't offend you. What happened to you? Did the fish run away?" Gu Longyu was about to cry. He left in a hurry last night and didn't check the fish cabin at all. In the morning, he found a few fish bones and a pile of crab shells in it. The village leader landed and stood in front of his team. Han Fei looked at Qin Hai and the others not far away. Many of them seemed to be injured, so he asked, "Leader, what happened to Uncle Qin and the others?" The village leader glanced at Han Fei. "They met the Heavenly Heart village and had some conflicts when snatching fish. But you did a good job this time." Wang Baiyu's face changed slightly. 17 people are missing. "Leader, could it be?" The village leader shook his head. "Some people have lost the ability to fight and quit in advance." Han Fei and the others all gasped. 17 people quit in one day. And this was the result of a team led by a peak-level fishing master. Not long after, the mayor in the sky announced. First place, Heavenly Heart Village, 37 rare creatures, including 21 rare creatures in the juvenile group. Han Fei and the others were shocked and He Xiaoyu exclaimed, "How can there be so many? How did they do it?" Wang Baiyu said, "I told you that the Heavenly Heart Village is not simple, and that Fang Qing is even more powerful." Second place, Heavenly Water Village, 32 rare creatures, including 20 rare creatures in the juvenile group. Qin Hai looked at Han Fei. "Not bad, we fought with them and no one was scared. Unfortunately, we wasted a lot of time." Third place, Heavenly Moon Village, 30 rare creatures, including 10 rare creatures from the juvenile group. Fourth place, Heavenly Fire Village, 28 rare creatures, including 9 rare creatures in the juvenile group. Fifth place, Heavenly Sun Village, 24 rare creatures, including 4 rare creatures in the juvenile group. 8th place, Heavenly Rain Village, 17 rare creatures, including 4 rare creatures in the juvenile group. Unsurprisingly, the Heavenly Rain Village's ranking had not changed in the past 10,000 years. Similarly, the Heavenly Wind Village and the Heavenly Wood Village were also at the bottom. However, the outstanding performance of the Heavenly Water Village attracted many people's attention. Heavenly Heart Village Juvenile Team. Feng Qing continued, I heard that the Heavenly Sun Village and the Heavenly Water Village encountered each other. Gu Longyu led twice as many people as the other party but only got 4 rare spiritual fish. It can be seen that the fatty is not simple. Behind Feng Qing, a girl smiled and said, so what? The second game is our home field. Our team has 2 spirit-chasing shrimps and 1 treasure-digging fish. Can they beat us? Feng Qing said, we can't be careless. At least in the second round, we don't need to fight them. I believe that with the Heavenly Sun Village in front, the other villages' juvenile teams will not clash with them. There was almost no rest time between the first and second games. The mayor said, the second game is extremely dangerous. The 8 village leaders and I will not go underwater to disturb you, nor will we rescue you. I can only tell you to cherish your life. With that, the crowd dispersed again. Wang Baiyu said, I know a place where there may be some opportunities. Han Fei asked, where? The land of the fire spring. Hu Kun added, I heard that that place is dangerous. Danger and opportunity coexist. The fat on Han Fei's face swayed and he shook his head. No, we are outnumbered. I know the land of the fire spring you mentioned. It's not a secret. Many people know it. Han Fei and Jiang Qin's training was only in the mixed area of the ordinary fishery and the level 1 fishery in the first week, and then they were all in the level 1 fishery. Han Fei had basically visited all the places in the level 1 fishery and had even drawn a map. The land of the fire spring was just a seabed volcanic crater. In his map, it ranked 6th, even after the seabed mine. Han Fei said, follow me. They flew for 700 or 800 kilometers before they arrived at the place Han Fei mentioned. Chen Qing said, Han Fei, replenish our spiritual energy. Otherwise, we will become fish food after entering the sea. Everyone smiled, but then their faces tightened. This was really going into the sea. The mortality rate was extremely high. He Xiaoyu was very nervous. She followed Han Fei closely and said, you have so much meat on your body. Will you become a prey target? Han Fei's face darkened. What are you talking about? Do I look like food to you? Everyone was silent. You do look like food. With you here, we feel much more at ease, because we are thin and you are fat. Han Fei took out a map and said, according to my research, right below us should be the Scorpion Cave. While everyone was still thinking about this name, Xia Wushuang suddenly exclaimed, Han Fei, are you serious? You took us to the Scorpion Cave in the level 1 fishery. Hu Kun and the others widened their eyes. Where? The Scorpion Cave. Is it the legendary Scorpion Cave in the level 1 fishery? He Xiaoyu was frightened. Can we not go there? Sea scorpions. I've seen them in the town. They are terrible and poisonous. Their tails are very fierce and sting. Han Fei looked at them strangely. Everyone, we are hunting for treasures. How can treasure hunting not be dangerous? Who told you that this is a dangerous place? It's nonsense. Wang Baiyu looked serious. The Scorpion Cave has been passed down by word of mouth in the level 1 fishery. Some people have explored it. Many great fishing masters have explored the Scorpion Cave, but they found nothing. Han Fei, are you sure there are treasures here? Han Fei smiled. That's because they found it in the wrong way. The best things in the world are often in the most dangerous places. You can choose to believe me, or you can go to other places to find them. Of course, if you don't mind waiting for me, I can go down alone. Everyone fell silent. Are you kidding me? If you go to the scorpion cave alone, the village leader will kill us. He Xiaoyu asked, is there really treasures? Xiang Nan asked, Han Fei, although we have a dozen people, it is definitely not enough to break through the scorpion cave. Xia Wushuang added, I think what Han Fei said makes sense. The scorpion cave is notorious. I don't think any team will come here to look for opportunities. Maybe there are really treasures here. After all, no one has touched this place for many years. Wang Baiyu took a deep look at Han Fei. I don't mind. We can try. Han Fei glanced at the crowd. Is there anyone who doesn't want to go? If you don't want to go, you can stay on the fishing boat, but you won't get the treasures we find. Xiang Nan nodded. Then let's go. Your lives are valuable. If you are not afraid of death, why should we? Han Fei said, wait a minute. Everyone. Han Fei said, wait for my news here. I'll leave for an hour. I have to make some preparations before I go down. He Xiaoyu asked, where are you going? Han Fei replied, we really can't break through the scorpion cave with our strength. I'm going to attract the monsters. After Han Fei left, Xia Wushuang asked, have you noticed that Han Fei is weird now? Hu Kun snorted. He has always been weird. Xia Wushuang frowned. No, why does Han Fei always give me a mysterious feeling now? He Xiaoyu replied, a little bit. He's not as stupid as before. Wang Baiyu shook his head with a smile and muttered, was he stupid before? I'm afraid you were the one who was stupid. In fact, Han Fei had long wanted to break through this scorpion cave. If there was a scorpion cave, there must be a natural enemy. 300 miles away, there was a water ant nest, which was Han Fei's goal. The water ant nest was a very low-level marine creature similar to marching sea leeches, but when attacked or tempted by food, it would also be triggered to march. Little Black easily dealt with the fish, shrimp, insects, and crabs that wanted to make trouble for him. After a while, Han Fei landed on a seabed full of caves. With a flash of spiritual energy in his hand, Han Fei threw out wisps of spiritual energy. After a while, the bed was covered with palm-sized water ants. Seeing that the effect was almost there, Han Fei immediately increased the output. When Han Fei farmed, he would always throw a mass of spiritual energy into the ground and control the horizontal detonation force. Then the land would be fertilized. At this moment, there was a sudden riot on the seabed. The spiritual energy was detonating and dense water ants crawled out of the caves, seeming to be looking for creatures that attacked them. Han Fei hurriedly swam away and fertilized the nest several times until a layer of black ants crawled on the seabed and bit at him. Read 2. Chapter 127. More than half an hour later, Han Fei had returned to the scorpion cave. Without thinking, he threw out several large masses of spiritual energy violently in succession. Bam! Bubbles appeared on the surface of the water from time to time. Xia Wushuang asked, what happened underwater? Wang Baiyu asked, something seems to have collapsed. Pooh! Suddenly, a figure jumped onto the boat from the bottom of the water, gasping for breath. Han Fei was exhausted after swimming 300 kilometers in one breath. He Xiaoyu's eyes widened. Han Fei, why did you come out of the water? Don't ask. Everyone, go into the water. Everyone was taken aback and immediately followed Han Fei into the water. A few minutes later, He Xiaoyu and the others were about to run away. What did they see? Thousands of dense water ants were biting the sea scorpions. Their corpses were almost all over the bottom of the sea, and ant shells were scattered everywhere. Everyone saw that Han Fei was transmitting spiritual energy into the scorpion cave from time to time. In just a few minutes, the ground shook several times and sea scorpions popped up from time to time. Some timid people had already secretly swam back. Xia Wushuang and the others widened their eyes. Did you just attract the water ants? How did this guy survive? Han Fei waved to the others and pointed at Xiao Wushuang and his human-faced crab. Only then did Xiao Wushuang realize what was going on. He immediately created a small illusion around them to hide their faces. Han Fei made a fighting gesture to the others, and everyone's heart tightened. Are we really going to fight the sea scorpions? But now, not only were there sea scorpions, there were also countless water ants. With a smile, Han Fei snapped his fingers, and a 4-meter-long large mantis shrimp appeared. Damn, everyone's eyes widened. Han Fei actually has a contractual spiritual beast. Or a mantis shrimp. The 9-tailed mantis shrimp drilled into the ground, swept its tail, and a sea scorpion was swept into several pieces. Everyone was dumbfounded. Han Fei was going into the scorpion cave. For a moment, everyone hesitated. Should I follow him or not? While they were hesitating, Xiaoyu swam down first and followed Han Fei into the cave. Xiao Wushuang, Xiang Nan, and the others looked at each other and followed him, but some people simply swam back to the sea. What a joke! Hu Kun looked up and down. There were already 5 people swimming back. He gritted his teeth. He wasn't going to follow. He wasn't going to risk his life like this. The 9-tailed mantis shrimp was digging a hole. In fact, this hole was very easy to dig. It had been riddled with holes by the sea scorpions, and at this moment, the 9-tailed mantis shrimp could punch through the hole easily. Suddenly, he felt that someone was patting him from behind. Looking back, Wang Baiyu wrote on Han Fei's hand, "Poisonous. Don't worry." When Han Fei saw the purple seawater, he quickly took out a white seaweed from his pocket. A large amount of purple gas flowed into the white seaweed. As they went deeper and deeper, they encountered more and more sea scorpions. Fortunately, the 9-tailed mantis shrimp had already swept a large area, and those that survived were all killed by Wang Baiyu and the others. Suddenly, Han Fei gestured for them to stop. When everyone was still at a loss, the 9-tailed mantis shrimp suddenly stopped and its 6 feet seemed to be exerting force. Bam! The 6 tails darted out, turned into chains, and penetrated 3 consecutive holes in an instant. And there, a big scorpion with a purple-red tail, 7 or 8 meters long, was punched away by the 9-tailed mantis shrimp. A string of data appeared in Han Fei's eyes. Name: Purple-tailed Scorpion King. Level 28. Equality: Rare. Contains spiritual energy greater than 340 points. Edible effect: inedible. Collectible. A purple-tailed scorpion poison. Han Fei smiled. Resource competition. I've been thinking about catching this thing for a long time. It's not that I can't beat it alone, but without help, those little scorpions are very annoying. Besides, the 9-tailed mantis shrimp was only level 18. Even if it was a legendary creature, it couldn't defeat the purple-tailed scorpion king head-on. Han Fei turned around and wrote on Wang Baiyu's hand, "Fuse all of them. Buy me some time." Wang Baiyu's face turned black. You want us fishing masters to hold such a big scorpion for you? Fortunately, Han Fei's mantis shrimp was here. Otherwise, they would have been killed in minutes. Han Fei was still holding the white seaweed, which was no longer white but completely purple. When Han Fei saw a trace of purple gas coming out of the soil in the scorpion cave, he began to dig a hole on the spot. Wang Baiyu held a big shield in front of Han Fei, and Xiao Wushuang, pale-faced, asked the human-faced crab to stand in front of everyone, as if he was going to create an illusion for the Scorpion King. He Xiaoyu, Xiang Nan, Chen Qing, and the others held their sticks nervously, dealing with the laughing scorpions around them. The purple-tailed Scorpion King looked so terrifying that the 9-tailed mantis shrimp had been stabbed several times. They didn't dare to imagine whether the mantis shrimp would die immediately if it was stabbed by the Scorpion King. Han Fei was very excited while digging. Fortunately, the encyclopedia of spiritual plants that old Jiang gave him had a clear record of it. In the nest of the purple-tailed scorpion, after years of accumulated toxins, exotic poisonous fruits would be born. This kind of fruit seemed to be very poisonous, but it was not. Ordinary people could even be immune to almost all mortal-level poisons if they took it. Of course, this kind of fruit was not easy to take. First of all, the strong toxins on the surface of the exotic poisonous fruit would quickly invade the human body once someone touched it. And the white seaweed in Han Fei's hand was naturally not ordinary seaweed, but the poisonous sea flower that Han Fei found in the poisonous jellyfish in the ordinary fishery early in the morning. It was a very low-level spiritual plant, not even mortal level. However, it could entangle and live on the poisonous jellyfish because it had a very strong ability to take drugs. At this moment, the poisonous sea flower had turned purple. Han Fei took out several of them in the blink of an eye, and the purple poisonous sea flower had been put in to forge the universe. Han Fei dug very fast. Very soon, he saw a cluster of exotic poisonous fruits. Han Fei was shocked. There were hundreds of purple fruits the size of a thumb. Han Fei quickly took out all the poisonous sea grasses, only to see that they were turning purple at a speed visible to the naked eye. 1, 2. A bunch of exotic poisonous fruits was enough to poison 23 stalks of sedum grass. Han Fei plucked this cluster of exotic poisonous fruits, but when he was about to leave, he suddenly saw a transparent egg shaking. Name a mutant purple-tailed scorpion egg, level a 0 equality, exotic, it contains spiritual energy greater than 30 points, edible effect, inedible, introduction, an infant mutant purple-tailed scorpion, extremely poisonous after hatching. After attaching to the owner will become a mobile poison source and can be domesticated. Han Fei was taken aback. Shit, it seems that I've made a fortune. Without saying a word, Han Fei picked up the mutant purple-tailed scorpion egg and hurried back. However, Han Fei felt a trace of resistance as if the scorpion egg was connected to something, and then this layer of soil collapsed. Han Fei appeared in front of everyone holding the exotic poisonous fruit in one hand and the mutant purple-tailed scorpion egg in the other. Hiss, outside, Wang Baiyu and the others saw the purple-tailed scorpion king suddenly go crazy. With a violent hiss, a scorpion pincer suddenly smashed at Nine Tails. Bam! Nine Tails didn't care and hammered out in an instant. The two collided, Nine Tails flew out, and the other pincer of the purple-tailed scorpion king was directly blown away. But the purple-tailed scorpion king didn't care and rushed to Han Fei. Wang Baiyu immediately raised his shield to block the way. Clang! With just one blow, the shield was broken, and Wang Baiyu was sent flying, vomiting blood. Han Fei instantly threw the exotic poisonous fruit to He Xiaoyu, then grabbed Wang Baiyu with one hand and threw him to Xiao Wushuang. Fury! Explode! With a bang, the water burst and Han Fei was sent flying, blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. As soon as Nine Tails saw its master injured, it swept its tail at the purple-tailed Scorpion King, and the Scorpion King also swept its tail. The two big insects flew out at the same time. Run! Han Fei waved at He Xiaoyu and the others, opened his mouth, and a string of bubbles popped out. Xiao Wushuang pulled He Xiaoyu and hurriedly retreated. Xiang Nan, Chen Qing, and Jia Tong were pale. As the purple-tailed Scorpion King hissed, a large number of scorpions crawled in. They were clearing the way and the cave was full of broken armor. Han Fei raised the rod in his hand, activated all his skills, and shouted, "Fuse!" At this time, Han Fei didn't care about suppressing his realm. Jiang Qin had trained him for half a year. Although she had been teaching him combat skills, even Jiang Qin herself didn't know that Han Fei had spent nearly 300,000 points of spiritual energy to break through to a peak-level fishing master. At this moment, a man, a scorpion, and a shrimp were fighting. Read 2. Chapter 128. On the surface. Xia Wushuang carried Wang Baiyu and jumped onto the boat. Xiang Nan, Chen Qing, Jia Tong, and He Xiaoyu jumped out of the sea one after another, but they were all covered with wounds and He Xiaoyu's hair was messy. Xiang Nan was the most seriously injured. He was the best fighter and almost killed half of the purple-tailed scorpions. Xiang Nan had more than 50 wounds all over his body. I'm poisoned. Does anyone have an antidote? Chen Qing lay directly on the deck, his face purple. Who would have thought of bringing an antidote? He Xiaoyu frowned. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Jia Tong saw that He Xiaoyu's arms, thighs, and lower abdomen were all pierced and the injuries looked quite serious. Hu Kun and the others immediately gathered around. Seeing this scene, they were all shocked and gasped. Hiss, what happened to Wang Baiyu? Xia Wushuang replied, he was exhausted and seriously injured. Fortunately, he's fine. Then Xia Wushuang looked at He Xiaoyu. Where is Han Fei? He Xiaoyu said in a sobbing tone, I don't know. He seems to be fighting with the big scorpion. Xia Wushuang quickly took out a bottle of pills and said, stop the bleeding and heal your wounds first. Hu Kun and the others stared at each other, but then they saw the cluster of hundreds of exotic poisonous fruits in He Xiaoyu's hand. Hu Kun asked, He Xiaoyu, what are you holding in your hand? Spiritual fruits. Hu Kun and the others secretly took a breath. What happened to them? Why did they dig up a fruit tree? Oh, God, there are hundreds of spiritual fruits. Are they crazy? Even though He Xiaoyu was injured, she gritted her teeth and said, don't come over. We found them. It has nothing to do with you. He Xiaoyu was not a fool. What Han Fei threw over must be very important. Although she didn't know what these fruits were, as long as they were spiritual fruits on the seabed, they were all valuable. Every one of them was priceless. Hu Kun couldn't take it even if he wanted to. Hu Kun and the others were too embarrassed to take it, but the cluster of spiritual fruits looked too tempting. Hu Kun even had a crazy idea. Now they were all injured. If I killed them all, wouldn't these spiritual fruits be mine? But Hu Kun hesitated. He wondered if someone was watching them from the sky. Xiang Nan panted heavily. Motherfucker, Hu Kun, you bunch of bastards. How dare you run away? Someone immediately retorted, we have the right not to go. Look at you, all of you are injured. Wang Baiyu is seriously injured and Han Fei can't come up. You asked for it. Another person said, that's right. Even if there are treasures, they are not as valuable as one's life. Jia Tong said, motherfucker, if it weren't for the fact that I can't get up right now, I would have killed you with one slap. Chen Qing said, if you had gone down there, the scene would have been completely different. The two groups of people were furious. Xia Wushuang was the one who was the least injured, and he was standing in front of the others. Looking at the spiritual fruits in He Xiaoyu's hand and the greedy eyes of Hu Kun and the others, he raised his rod and said, you'd better not try anything funny. None of you is a match for me. At least 3 of you will die if we fight. After a while, Jia Tong asked, Xiang Nan, are you okay? Xiang Nan said, I'm falling asleep. Cough, cough. This poison is quite strong. Chen Qing said, damn, it's still a long time before the end of the game. Unless we quit, I'm afraid we won't survive. Hu Kun said, anyway, we got so many spiritual fruits. We're sure to win. If we quit, we'll quit. He Xiaoyu had been crying for a long time. Although her face was blue and purple, she still looked at the water and was almost desperate. That big scorpion was too horrible. She had no hope. Seeing that they were getting weaker and weaker, Hu Kun suddenly said, He Xiaoyu, give me the spiritual fruits. Hu Kun's eyes were crazy. It had been so long and Han Fei probably couldn't come up. This was their only chance. At this moment, only Xia Wushuang could fight, but could he resist 6 people alone? Xia Wushuang shouted, Hu Kun, don't court death. If you dare to snatch it, I won't kill anyone but you. Hu Kun shouted, kill me. Xia Wushuang, are you also poisoned? There are no less than 8 wounds on your body. I admit that you can easily beat us in your heyday, but how much of your strength can you use now? Hu Kun said to the others, guys, don't forget that everything we get in the resource competition belongs to us. Xia Wushuang roared, fuse. Hu Kun, I'm going to fucking kill you today. In the fishing trial, Xiao Wushuang was in the limelight. If it weren't for Han Fei, Wang Baiyu wouldn't have been able to get the third place. It could be said that among all the people here, he was the strongest. He had to take the initiative and couldn't delay any longer. If he delayed any longer, he might not be able to fight anymore. Clang! Hu Kun was directly smashed into the air and roared, "What are you looking at? They've already started the fight. Why are you still looking? We didn't go down. Even if the game is over, we'll be despised by them forever." Their faces changed slightly. "Let's do it. Go." Clang, clang, clang. For a time, a fierce battle broke out on the fishing boat. Xiao Wushuang was really brave, waving his sledgehammer, and no one dared to approach him. Jia Tong still wanted to get up, but before he could stand firm, he fell down again. He could only breathe heavily and said to Xiao Wushuang, "Take He Xiao Yu away. Don't worry about us." Hu Kun was anxious. "Don't let them go. If they leave, the matter will be exposed." Xiao Wushuang was beaten back step by step. He had been hit countless times and blood was flowing out of his mouth. He was helpless. "I want to go. But I can't." What they didn't know was that on the sea dozens of kilometers away, a fat figure suddenly jumped out of the sea. Han Fei was panting, but his tired body couldn't hide his excitement. This trip was really worth it. The level 28 purple-tailed scorpion king made the nine-tailed mantis shrimp grow its seventh tail and increase its level by 1. Han Fei released the nine-tailed mantis shrimp and patted its shell. "Let's go back." Then Han Fei grabbed the tail of the nine-tailed mantis shrimp, compared it with the other tails, and nodded with satisfaction. "Not bad, a king-level rare creature is worth dozens of ordinary rare creatures. Let's go back." This was not the fiercest battle Han Fei had experienced in the past 6 months, but different from the battle with Jiang Qin, this was a life-and-death battle. He knew very well the strength of the nine-tailed mantis shrimp. Even the most ordinary palm-sized mantis shrimp could punch at a speed of 1/10,000th of a second, and the strength of a single punch was as high as 60 kilograms. Now the nine-tailed mantis shrimp was so powerful that even the level 28 purple-tailed scorpion king couldn't resist it at all. It must be at least 6,000 kilograms. While thinking, Han Fei quickly gathered. If he guessed right, someone must have been injured. But it should be no problem for them to escape, because all the sea scorpions were coming for him. Huh? Who's fighting? Han Fei's face suddenly changed and he ran at full speed. Bim, Xiao Wushuang was lying on the ground, covered with blood. He couldn't move anymore. He had killed 3 enemies by himself. At this moment, Hu Kun was also seriously injured, and the other 2 were lying unconscious on the ground. However, 2 fists were no match for 4 hands. No matter how talented he was and how strong he was, he still couldn't withstand the crowd tactic. Hu Kun dragged his body and walked towards He Xiaoyu. "Hand over the spiritual fruits." He Xiaoyu hugged him tightly. "No way. I'd rather throw them away than give them to you." Hu Kun laughed ferociously. "Try throwing them away. If you do, I won't feel guilty for taking them." He Xiaoyu shouted, "Hu Kun, Grandpa Leader will beat you to death." Hu Kun laughed again. "Once you enter the second round, only the mayor can find out everything. The village leader can't find out anything at all. However, the mayor may care about the battles between villages, but he won't care about the battles within the same village." Hu Kun stepped forward and grabbed He Xiaoyu's hand, extremely excited. If he had these hundreds of spiritual fruits, he would soon become a great fishing master. Not only that, but he might even become a dangling fisher soon. Who knew? Anyway, he had made a fortune. "Bastard, let go of me." At this moment, a hand grabbed Hu Kun's foot. Hu Kun looked down, only to see that it was Xiang Nan who had passed out. "Ha ha ha. Look at you, you're not even as strong as a level 2 fisher. Forget it, you'll die sooner or later. I'll send you to hell first." Puff. With that, Hukuan stabbed Xiang Nan's back. Xiaoyu burst into tears. Xiang Nan. Jia Tong shouted, Hukuan, damn you, I'm going to kill you. Hukuan almost went crazy. Ha ha ha, what are you going to do? Go to hell. With that, Hukuan's rod flashed with spiritual energy. But at the moment when Hukuan was about to swing the rod, two cold lights shot at him from 100 meters away. Hu! Puff! Before Hukuan had time to react, he was directly nailed to the deck by two knives. The next moment, under everyone's shocked gaze, a fat body stepped on the air and came over. A fishing master who was about to attack was still in shock when he was knocked over by a rod. His whole body smashed the deck and his chest was dripping with blood. Xia Wushuang shouted, damn, you brat. Didn't die. Jia Tong was overjoyed. Han Fei, don't let any of them go. Hukuan was horrified. How could Han Fei come back? How could this be? Xiaoyu and the others were desperate just now. Xiaoyu burst into tears. Hukuan roared, kill him, or we'll all die. Read 2. Chapter 129. Han Fei waved his hand and the nine-tailed mantis shrimp stood in front of Xia Wushuang and the others. Don't move. I'll only kill the person who gave me the order. If you move, I'll kill you. The two people who were still standing were horrified. Their initial desire to make a move disappeared immediately. This mantis shrimp did not look like an ordinary contractual spiritual beast at all. Even if it was an ordinary mantis shrimp, they might not be able to defeat it. Han Fei glanced at the two of them. Very good. Then with a flash of spiritual energy, Han Fei stepped on Hukuan's stomach. Ah, Han Fei squatted down and patted Hukuan's face. Is there a grudge between us? I've long forgotten it, but you still remember it. Do you want to kill a fishing master from the same village? I won't kill you. I'll take you back to the Heavenly Water Village. Think about how you'll be cursed by hundreds of thousands of people. Everyone's face trembled. Hukuan was so easily destroyed by Han Fei that he couldn't recultivate. This was worse than killing him. Hukuan's eyes were bloodshot and he shouted with strong hatred, Han Fei. Kill me, smack, you want to die. It's too late. Hukuan was knocked out with a slap. Han Fei murmured, damn it. Han Fei looked back at Xia Wushuang whose nose was swollen. Why don't you eat the spiritual fruit? Xia Wushuang stammered, no. I don't know. Han Fei hurriedly took the exotic poisonous fruit and picked one for each of them. This is called exotic poisonous fruit. After taking it, you will be immune to mortal-level poisons. Hearing this, everyone's eyes lit up. Jia Tong tried to open his eyes. Come on, let's find a way to save Xiang Nan first. Han Fei's face changed slightly, only to see Xiang Nan's blood flowing all over the ground. At that moment, Han Fei really wanted to turn around and kill Hukuan, but he thought it would be too easy to kill him. Han Fei injected spiritual energy into Xiang Nan's body, but this guy didn't respond at all. He just opened his eyes slightly and smiled with difficulty, but his breathing became weaker and weaker. In the end, Han Fei sighed and took out the mutant purple-tailed scorpion's egg. Sign the contract. He knew that contractual spiritual beasts and their masters seemed to share life. But many people's contractual spiritual beasts died, but their masters didn't, so he wasn't sure. Han Fei said seriously, Xiang Nan, sign the contract with this mutant purple-tailed scorpion egg, hurry up. Han Fei grabbed Xiang Nan's hand and put it on the mutant purple-tailed scorpion's egg. It's up to you whether you can survive or not. Xiang Nan's mouth was full of bloody foam. He struggled to mumble something, but it was hard to hear clearly. Anyway, he could see the blood on the ground and on his hands flowing into the scorpion egg. A moment later, a thorn pierced the scorpion egg, and a small purple scorpion hatched. Xiang Nan smiled faintly when he saw this. Then, he fainted. Xia Wushuang said, south. Jia Tong said, what the fuck? You've already signed the contract. Why do you still want to die? Han Fei said quickly, he's not dead. He just passed out. His wounds are recovering. It was not until half an hour later that the wounds on Xiang Nan's body gradually healed. Han Fei shook his head slightly. Contractual spiritual beasts do have some vitality and even recovery abilities, but not much. Xiang Nan's wounds have only recovered, but his injuries are still very serious. Xia Wushuang added, I still have some healing pills on me. Give them all to him. After doing all this, Han Fei looked at the others. Han Fei squatted beside He Xiaoyu, frowned at the wounds on He Xiaoyu's body, and said softly, I'll find someone to treat you when we go back to the village. There won't be any scars. He Xiaoyu hugged Han Fei. Woo! I thought you were dead. Woo! Han Fei smiled. In the level 1 fishery, nothing can kill me as long as I don't want to die. Then Han Fei injected spiritual energy into He Xiaoyu's body. The little girl's body shook and her complexion improved a lot. Han Fei injected spiritual energy into everyone's body and looked at Wang Baiyu. Are you seriously injured? Xia Wushuang explained, he took a blow from the big scorpion and his shield was broken. I'm afraid he'll have to rest for at least a month. Han Fei nodded seriously. Yes. I owe him a favor. Xia Wushuang added, you also owe me a favor. Han Fei nodded. I also owe you one. Xia Wushuang chuckled. It's worth it. Han Fei scratched his belly, got up, and turned to look at the two people on the opposite side. In the resource competition, you attacked your companions. I can kill you at any time. But since it's not easy for you to cultivate, I'll give you a chance. In the third round, each of you will kill one person. If you can't, you'll end up like him. Han Fei pointed to Hu Kun on the deck. It was not that Han Fei didn't want to kill them, but that two people on his side had been crippled. To be precise, Xia Wushuang was not much better. If he killed these two people, would he have to fight all of them alone in the third round? Chen Qing had just regained some strength to get up. Damn, they got away with it. Jia Tong scoffed, we should have killed them all. Cough, Wang Baiyu opened his eyes. Cough. You're back. It's okay. Go back to sleep. Wang Baiyu didn't care anymore. He felt that he was about to fall apart. As soon as he closed his eyes, he immediately fell asleep and snored slightly. Everyone, Han Fei looked at the crowd and shook his head slightly. Although there was still a lot of time, this treasure hunt was probably over. Half an hour later, everyone finally recovered a little. Jia Tong got up and kicked Hu Kun. Asshole, how can there be such a bastard in our village? Chen Qing said, don't hit him. If you keep hitting him, he will die. Forget it, he will be like this for the rest of his life. It's even more pitiful than death. Han Fei scratched his belly and said, okay, calm down. Let's share this exotic poisonous fruit equally. Chen Qing protested, no, you brought it back alone. We have all eaten it just now, Jia Tong added, yes, we can at most beat the small scorpions. That big scorpion, everyone was a little scared. Wang Baiyu was already a strong armorist. He was the one with the strongest defense, but he was almost killed by the scorpion. Han Fei asked, why do I need so many fruits? Although this is also a spiritual fruit, it is not a fruit to improve strength. Let's share it and give it to those who need it. Anyway, each of us only needs to eat one. It's useless to eat more. Everyone's face changed, but in the end, they didn't object. This was a spiritual fruit. There was no reason to object, okay? He Xiaoyu said, I want to eat hot pot. Everyone. He Xiaoyu said, I'm not happy. I want to eat hot pot. Han Fei was speechless. Okay. When we go back to the village, I'll give you a card. You can eat there every day. He Xiaoyu was overjoyed. Really? Han Fei said helplessly, it's as if I have charged you for barbecue and hot pot. Forget it, you can eat it when you are better. Suddenly, He Xiaoyu pointed to Xiang Nan and said, he's awake, Xiang Nan is awake. Han Fei quickly looked back. How is he? Xiang Nan said with difficulty, shit. What is this? Contractual spiritual beast. Han Fei said leisurely, oh. This is just a mutant purple-tailed scorpion egg. It should be more advanced than a rare creature. Xia Wushuang and the others next to him were shocked. Xia Wushuang was dumbfounded. No, Han Fei. What do you think this is? Han Fei said, a mutant purple-tailed scorpion egg. Everyone gasped and looked at Xiang Nan. No, it's not a rare creature. I don't think so. This little guy is no longer a purple-tailed scorpion. Its whole body is purple, so it should be more advanced. Xiang Nan was shocked himself. Han Fei, what? What about you? Han Fei pointed to the nine-tailed mantis shrimp with a smile. I have one. What should I do? In fact, Han Fei thought to himself, exotic creatures. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack to encounter an exotic creature in the level 1 fishery. Don't I feel bad? Of course I feel bad. I'm trying to save people. Huh? Only then did everyone notice the nine-tailed mantis shrimp who was still staring at the other two fishing masters. They were all speechless. Xia Wushuang asked, how can a mantis shrimp have a tail? Is this one also a mutant one? Han Fei nodded. Yes. Xia Wushuang swallowed. Did you get it from the mantis shrimp cave? Han Fei thought for a while. Sort of. Xia Wushuang took a deep breath. Damn, it's true that the more dangerous the place is, the more valuable it is. Didn't you find nothing in the scorpion cave? 2 hours later, Wang Baiyu woke up and heard the news. It's an exotic creature. He Xiaoyu asked, what is an exotic creature? Wang Baiyu said enviously, I heard that all exotic creatures are exotic creatures. They are very strong, much stronger than rare creatures. He Xiaoyu's eyes widened. Why don't we know that? Wang Baiyu tried to roll his eyes. You'll know it when you read more books. Above exotic creatures, there seem to be legendary creatures, which were once popular and extremely powerful. Han Fei couldn't help but be surprised. Legendary? Isn't it a legend? Wang Baiyu wanted to grin, but he frowned in pain. You said it's a legend. How can legendary creatures really appear? Han Fei nodded. It turned out that legendary creatures were not at the same level. At this time, everyone looked at Xiang Nan enviously. What a lucky guy. Xiang Nan smiled with difficulty and summoned the mutant purple-tailed scorpion. Han Fei, I owe you a big favor. Han Fei shook his head slightly. Forget it. It's just an exotic creature. I'll meet it in the future anyway. He Xiaoyu said, let me touch it. Han Fei's face changed. Stop, I forgot to tell you that this thing is poisonous, the very poisonous kind. He Xiaoyu, huh? Han Fei said leisurely, not only is it poisonous, but Xiang Nan is also poisonous now. That is to say, unless Xiang Nan puts it away, he will be poisonous now. Xiang Nan, read too. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.